I got a lot to do.
I don't think that's a good idea, sir.
Well, for once, Commander Kroll and I are in total agreement, sir. By the way, I do have 50 gallons of bouillabaisse that I need to prepare by tomorrow.
My birthday.
Yes, sir, I could do the cheeseburger routine.
No, it's not for me. It's the crew. They really love that stuff. So we'll...
Round one, fight! Wednesday, December 7th, Arnold's Vember continues, guys. It's Arnold movies till the end of the year. Oh, I'm so excited. This is a classic. This is one of his earlier movies, Terminator, tonight. But I would be remiss if I didn't bring in the greatest co-host of mine, the great Shanthan Jetty and Jericho Green. Gentlemen, how you doing tonight?
Great.
I'm glad to be here.
Oh, it's already started. Have you been programmed to watch this movie and have a lot of fun tonight, Mr. Green?
Always. It's always a good time when I'm here.
Dude, I'm telling you, if you take off those glasses and you've got one robot eye, it's it. The show can't go on. The show couldn't go on.
I got my real eyeballs.
Shut it down.
Shut it down. Get out. Come on. Come on, I got the red eye in here.
Rumafay already getting things started the correct way by sending me a very generous $20. Congratulations on being a grandpa. Yes, thank you. As of 2 days ago, there was another El Taib on this planet ready to take over, ready to dominate. Coming in just under 2 feet. People better watch out. You know what I mean? Yeah, she's
serious
here.
Baby.
So no, it's fantastic. It's
Have
fantastic.
you given any thought to what you want to be called?
No, I feel like making up your own nickname is like, you don't do that. You know what I mean? Nicknames like, hey, everyone calls me Turbo or everyone calls me Flash. Like, wait for your friends to call you something. You don't just make up a nickname.
But I mean, are you leaning towards Papa or anything like that? Do you?
I mean, it would be an honor of mine. I'm being 100% serious here. My grandpa, it was a mispronunciation of Grampy. My oldest cousin, who's 6 years older than me, called him Pampy. So in our family, Pampy is like just a legend. World War II, most loving guy, Pacific Theater in World War II, family restaurant. Like he's a legend in my mind and our whole family. He was the patriarch. Wonderful man. Greatest dude I ever met in my life. And it'd be an honor to be called that, but I'm not going to give myself a nickname. But Pampy was the word in our family. You know.
Okay.
So.
Well, let the baby decide. Maybe the baby's going to come with a remix you never heard before, and they don't.
As long as it's not like, "Hey, you," nothing like
hey,
that.
Hey, yo.
Hey,
you don't want the baby to call you. Hey, you over there? Come over here.
50 gallons of formula for this.
Hey, I left 50 gallons of bouillabaisse in my diaper over here. You know they do that.
Those days, man. Those days.
I don't mean to be gross, but guys, babies, they're tiny, they're cute, they're adorable. But let me tell you something. I don't know Like if the milk and the food you give them, I don't know if it multiplies inside of their body, but I'm talking sometimes it looked like somebody put a nozzle in there and filled their diaper up to the top.
Well,
I mean, my goodness.
It's quite a life though. Sleeping, eating, pooping.
Dude.
Not much else. Not a lot else going on at first.
Wish that was
that's
me.
the dream for all of us to get there. A lot of sleeping, a lot of eating.
And a whole lot of shitting that
I
we
feel
don't
like I
have
need
to
Jeff
clean up.
Goldblum to come in though. Then there's all the running and screaming.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that too. That too.
There's that.
Goodness.
Yeah.
But it's great, man. Congratulations. Welcome
Thank you
to
very much. It's
I mean, well,
wonderful.
I shouldn't
congrats.
say welcome to the club. I'm not in it, but congratulations on making it into
Yes.
the Grandpa Club. I mean, that's something. Man.
You will be sooner or later. It's really something to behold. You know, my kids haven't been little in 20-something years. My daughter's 25. She's the mother now. And it brings back a lot of memories about what a magic time is. I was saying the day she was born, I just need her to be about 3 years old. Then I'm going to get Disneyland annual passes for just me and her. And we're going to go every weekend. You know?
There you go.
Yeah, man, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm a junkie for Disneyland, like the haunted house. And not woke Disney. I hate woke Disney. But Disneyland, I'm in love with it still to this day.
What is
for
the
$2
birthday?
Oh, I'm sorry. For $2 plush, cheers to new little one. Grandpa gave best grandpa. Thank you very Grandpa. Thank you very much. What were you saying, Sean? I'm sorry.
No, I didn't want to interrupt the super chat. You got another one there too, I think.
Do we? Do not let this child get the
There you go.
Yeah. I won't comment
Now
because YouTube. I won't comment because YouTube. But thanks for the 2 Canadian, Barb.
Exactly.
Yeah, thanks.
So,
Go,
man.
Joe.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what is the birthday of this blessed child?
I won't steal your thunder. Please tell us what December 5th is. What day is that? What's special?
It
about
is
that?
Walt Disney's birthday.
That is right. That is right.
And it is my brother-in-law's birthday and my best friend's birthday too. So it is.
Really?
When I saw that, and I went, wait a second, Disney fan, daughter is Minnie, giving birth to the first grandchild on Walt Disney's birthday.
All right.
Dude.
Oh yeah.
That's all I have to say, man.
You might get free season passes. Hey,
Right.
take that story to Disney. You might get in there for free.
Next CEO, write that company. That's what you just
There you
have
go.
right there, granddaughter.
Right the ship. You know, this
Amen.
little baby pushes a button and all the woke people get ejected into space.
Ejection
Into the
button.
sun.
No, it's a new ride. She puts all the woke people on this new roller coaster
Yeah.
in Disney World, and it, you get on, but you don't get off.
Where are the seatbelts? How are you secure ourselves to this roller coaster? Don't worry
You
about
won't
it.
need them. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
That's right.
The Horror of One. Can you believe the guy who made this movie recently said that testosterone is toxin you need to get rid of? What a weirdo. Yeah, that is not making me interested in Avatar. But I got to say, that's not a good movie. Visual spectacle Avatar, that's a boring, like, well-tread story. Like, meh. So I think Avatar's the most popular thing nobody gives a crap about, right?
Yeah.
It has to be.
Because we all saw it once. That's
Right.
right. 2009 when it came out, it was cutting edge. It was something new. It was, like you said, very visually appealing. The HD TVs were getting really good. So you're like, yeah, man, this is new. It was almost like it was made. It's almost like he had a deal with the HD TV companies. It all kind of married together really nice. Everybody saw it, but I don't know a lot of people I don't see a lot of Avatar t-shirts or a lot of like avid.
No.
I would say Star Wars has a much more loyal following than this Avatar, even though it made a bunch of money and everybody has seen it. But I think we only saw it one time for the spectacle, and then that was it. It's nothing that no one's like their kids. Oh, I'm so glad you're old enough now. I can show you Avatar. Like,
Nah.
nobody gives a shit about.
I took my kids to see it once, and like that was enough because it was so visually stunning. But to be frank, so many of the movies look that good now. That's why we saw it, because of how amazing the special effects were.
Yeah.
But, the bar's been raised now. It's like we're so ungrateful in some ways as art lovers. Like, what else you got? It's like, would you look at this thing for a minute and appreciate how amazing it looks? It's like, what else you got?
I did. What's next?
Legal Alien.
X. Yep.
Legal Alien. Thank you for getting in line. Great beard, Thomas. Let's see. Yeah, I got a lot of gray on the sides now. Let's see. Sean. Oh, Sean's reversed me. Hold on. He has gray in the middle. I have the gray on the sides and then a little patch. Then what about you, Jigger? How's your beard looking? Gray? Not yet.
No, I'm good. I got a few little doink doinks here and there, but hasn't taken over. I'm ready though. I'm ready. I'm embracing the salt.
That's
All
noise
this
they
has
make.
died though, because I have a perfect skunk stripe right down
Oh.
the two. No,
I
I'm
like
kidding. That's not true. But we had a huge super chat a second ago from Barrett X. We gotta pay
Freaking
homage
huge.
there.
Where?
Huge.
I'm
Go
on
up a little bit.
StreamYard. Oh.
Bam.
Well,
Boom.
thank you, friend. Barrett X, one of the great ones, always around. He says he doesn't see himself becoming a father, but I think life is a beautiful thing. Congratulations on your family and your work accomplishments. Thank you so much, Barrett X. I'm going to get, just let me climb up here on the soapbox for just a minute. There, all the way on top. Let me say something. I see my daughter, who I used to hold in one hand and spin like a pizza, when she weighed, 20 pounds and she was a little kid. And I see her, she's a mother now. And she like gives life and stuff. And I see all this stuff about, women, what is a woman, and women don't matter and men don't matter. And what an insult. What an absolute insult to women and mothers to tell them to chase the bag and chase the career. And there's nothing wrong with women working, being professionals. But my mom worked, my wife works. I'm not against that. But to diminish motherhood and spit on it like it's nothing, it's like, as men, I can create things. I can make an iPhone, a spaceship. I can make a book, a painting. I can't make people. You understand? This is something only women can do. And I believe it's the only real life miracle we get to see on earth. The other miracles we see are love, compassion, self-sacrifice. That's not something you can touch, love. A baby, that's an actual miracle. Like, that's a person that came out of a person. And people are just like, yeah, anyway. So I was going to brunch and they people just walk right past it like it's nothing. And it's the most beautiful thing in the world. And I'll tell you guys, I'll get off the soapbox in a second here. I have been to the top of the mountain in what I want to do as an artist, as a creator. It's all been so successful. God has blessed me so much. You name it, I've worked on it. Star Wars, Batman, whatever. My childhood dreams, they pale in comparison. I'm grateful for them, but they are nothing compared to family, compared to a baby, compared to your children and it's everything. Family's everything. I highly recommend it, guys. Okay, let me. All right, got off the soapbox.
Well,
there.
look, and
Barrett,
it's the
thank
center.
you so much, friend. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's the center of this movie. Make no mistake about it.
Right.
That is the central theme of this movie and central theme of so many of these things. And I mean, I'm similar. I mean, I have been to the top of the mountain. I've been to the Jack Daniel's distillery in Tennessee. So, outside of that, I mean, having kids is like the fourth best thing. I mean, you don't want to miss out.
Right.
And you know what? The beauty of it is, like Barrett X was saying, he doesn't see himself becoming a father, but he still respects and admires life.
Absolutely
and
right.
Respects the union between two people that should create that life. That's the beauty of it. You don't have to be a part of it, but you respect it.
Right.
It's great.
Right.
Yep.
Another super chat. Thank you, Plush. Plus 5 Ush. $2. Thank you very much, friend. I love the Batman, but it's sadly style over substance. I saw the new Batman, and I thought it looked cool, and it was semi-interesting, but ultimately I don't care.
The movie?
Yeah, the new one, The Batman or whatever. So,
Oh.
Yeah. It was a movie. Of all the movies I saw this year, it was one of them.
But how do we go from Batman 1989, the hype, and everything around that? That was a must-see movie to now with all of this technology and everything's great. And we have all this experience and all this stuff, and then it's like, I saw it or I didn't. I haven't seen it. I saw the trailer and it didn't oh man, I got to see that. But Batman 89, I had to see that. Not so much.
I believe this as an artist, and Sean, if you let me know what you think of this, as illustrators, as painters, as everything we do with visual arts, you can see my personality in my drawings. I can see yours, and your personality in yours. You can see uptight people, loose people, crazy, hippy dippy, loving people. You can see it in people's art. Bible has a verse and it says, "Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks." Whatever you're filled with just tends to come out of you eventually. And I feel like Hollywood is not overrun with most people that are very normal, but the people in control, the loud, angry, pushy people, are ugly, black-hearted people that are woke. And out of the abundance of their heart comes ugliness, cynicism, no such thing as a good guy. The good guys are just half bad guys. It's just like two bad guys verse each other now with one bad guy. Deadpool beats the other bad guy. It's like, I'm supposed to root for Deadpool? He's awful. So I think the ugliness inside of people that run Hollywood comes out in the media they make too often,
Their paths are too programmed. It's funny enough. Their paths are too designed to where they're going. and they've never had moments. I love seeing characters in these movies who are again working at a diner, working as a waitress, right? Who don't see themselves as a necessary and big part of this thing. And even when, destiny and fate is that's what that is to be, they're in denial of it. They have to actually do work to rise to it. And they don't say, look, make me a hero while I just keep doing what I'm doing now. Have, this serendipitous adventure. Have an adventure that I am prepared for. I'm ready for it. But I don't know I'm ready for it. And make me something beyond what I can be.
Right.
And I just think that is a message, again, that I think is maybe a little bit easier to write and conceive of when you've got somebody who is working as a truck driver in Canada who gets into film, gets into cinema, as James Cameron did. He had real experiences with real people, and he's the ultimate story of it not being true that you can't get there from here, which is how a lot of people feel. You can't get there from here. And I just think that's a beautiful part of this story. All of the characters are great. If you think about it, the character of Kyle Reese, when we get into this, is very much the Sarah Connor of the future. He's grinding it out in his job. He doesn't feel like he's a part of destiny. He feels like he's just another person who's in this group of people who could be taken out at any moment. And he gets this mission where he really sees himself, because he has no idea, but he really sees himself as, this is how I will give my life for this great person that is beyond my reach, who has a destiny that I play no role in.
Right.
That's some amazing stuff. We need that, man. Because you don't know, when you're kind to some kid or help some person out or do something for somebody, that it could play a role in the destiny of humanity that is beyond what you could imagine. And that is what these movies do for us. And
Kyle Reese ended up playing the ultimate role in this whole scenario. And Sarah Connor had quite an arc too.
Yep.
She went from, remember the He-Man cartoon where he was Cringer, and then he would turn into Battle Cat, and she had her whole journey from being that quivering, scared little whimpering thing to get up, move it, soldier. It was great.
Oh God, it's beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful. We'll get there. So let's get into it. Very well said, both of you. I do love that. Yeah, you think this is just a movie about robots and two guys from the future that both come back to do something to one lady. But it's about family, actually, and love and sacrifice, this movie, in a deep way. I'd only seen this movie once. I'd seen Terminator 2 a million times, but I'd only seen this movie once when I was like 10 or 12 years old at Tim and John's house, my cousin's house, where I saw all those movies I wasn't allowed to watch at home, like Aliens. Remember? I told you.
Yeah, we all had a house like that.
Right. It was the cousins that I don't know what the deal was. Real quick, here's a super chat. I'll check the chat afterwards, and then we'll get rolling. For $20, Joe Mello.
Yeah,
very generous, friend. Congratulations on being a grandpa, Gabe. Will you guys be watching any Christmas movies on this channel? Christmas Vacation or even Jingle All the Way, since Arnold Schwarzenegger is it? Well, I'll let Mr. Schwarzenegger fill this one. A couple days before Christmas, which one of your movies are we going to be watching, Arnie?
Jingle All the Way, where I play the guy who basically turns into Turbo Man.
Now, what if I only wanted to jingle some of the way? What would you tell me if I did that?
Look, listen to me, Gabe. We've done a few of these. A movie here, a movie there. Do you think you get the physique like this by doing anything halfway, Gabe? No, you have to do it all the way. So we jingle. We don't jingle part of the way. We don't jingle most of the way. We jingle all the way.
All right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Gabe, what are you going to do when your granddaughter comes to you and says, Grandpa, I only want to jingle half of the way?
Oh, you're right. Never. No, never.
All
the
way.
Okay. Thank you. You know what? That's why I appreciate you. I appreciate you setting me straight there, Arnie.
Arnold likes to make it real. He has to connect you to it.
Seeing this image, we're out of order, Gabe.
What?
It's driving me nuts.
What?
Jericho is supposed to be next.
Oh, okay. I'll move him up.
Thank you. Look, I'm looking at that's the sequence I see on screen. Sorry.
Okay.
And before we start,
you know how I get.
Before we start,
I'm starting to rub a flour on my gums. No,
I made this today in Photoshop and I sent it to the guys. And Jericho said that Shant was giving off a little bit of maybe you know, evil scientist vibes with a thick.
Where are the subjects?
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. And I got this.
999.
I had to wear this one tonight. My Cyberdyne system
Oh,
t-shirt.
hold on, let's see it.
Cyberdyne, yeah, man.
Cyberdyne
Right.
system, Sunnyvale, California.
Nah, California. I like how he's a governor of a state he cannot pronounce.
That don't tell me you can't make it here in this country, damn it. You don't even have to say the states right, and you can rule them.
Right.
Love it.
We must travel all the way to 2029 now to the future.
Right. To the far-flung future. Los Angeles.
I love to watch these movies where the years have already passed or they're pretty close to where we are now, and this is what they think it was going to be like. I love it.
Right.
I'm convinced now, actually. When I look
really,
outside, I'm like, yeah, we got a couple of years left.
This might be from 2020 because that looks like Los Angeles. Some
Right.
parts of it.
Los Angeles is such a piece of crap.
Ugh.
I can't stand it. Anyway, so we kick off in the far-flung future.
Yes.
2029. Ron DeSantis was cheated out of the presidency just a few years prior. Build, as you can see, Build Back Better hasn't quite worked. But
Well,
give it a few more years, guys. It's gonna work. I promise. It's gonna work.
promise.
This thing, so we got the Terminator, the robot army flying around, attacking the resistance soldiers.
The colors again, the blues. Then you got
Right.
the rays and the red dots, their eyes or their surveillance equipment. Colors just beautiful.
Right. Mike likes to talk a shot on location.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Downtown LA, nothing needed to change it. No props, no nothing.
Right. I like how actually they had to clean it up a little to get it this bad for the movie, It was
Well, everybody
LA
kept
was too far.
everybody on the crew kept getting hepatitis, so they had to clean it up a little bit for
jeez.
this.
Less skulls.
Right. They actually, you're right, Sean. They removed 70% of the skulls so they could get this shot off of La Cienega Boulevard right there.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
LA 1984, what a place to be. And I love the club scene coming up too. Love it.
Oh, right. So anyway, you have some futuristic soldiers about 6 years from now fighting flying robot ships. The machines rose from the ashes of the nuclear fire. Their war to exterminate mankind had raged for decades. Well, that's inaccurate so far. But the final battle would not be fought in the future. It would be fought here in our present tonight. Yeah, I feel like I could seduce a woman telling her something similar to this.
You probably just did. Some of the ladies watching this,
Right.
They
Carefully.
probably all lit cigarettes after you.
Yeah,
you
I'm
read
a
that.
grandpa, but I ain't done.
No.
I ain't done, ladies.
He ain't
Just
dead.
so you know.
He ain't dead.
I'm just getting started, by the way.
Oh.
Make sure to always stretch first, guys. Come on. So Terminator starts. You get this great the logo and then dun 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 dun. These great drums. I'm
Hey,
not going to
wait,
play them.
can we-
Copyright.
Can we take the Terminator music from the first Terminator? Can we put that in the time capsule with dun 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 dun?
Yes.
Is it up there? I think
It
so.
has
It
to
is.
be.
Okay.
It has to be.
Yeah, that's Jaws level right there, I think.
It is.
There's like that. There's Jaws, and I'm sorry to say this, but for me, in that time capsule, I don't care if I have to sneak it in as Axel F.
What's
Oh.
Dun, 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 dun,
Oh,
dun, 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 dun. Get that in there.
Henry Haltemeyer,
Yes.
I think it was his name.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I've got that on my.
Yeah,
computer
get that
now,
in there too.
Always.
You're right. When you're right, Sean.
Right. So we have the futuristic battle. It's a great visual to start with. They're like, what the hell is
Yep.
going on here? And you got all that blue and those like bright lasers and all that. And there's a little bit of visual carryover here where you have this blue electrical field. And there's a big garbage truck because it is LA 1984, 1:52 a.m. And this garbage man is like, what's going on? And
Garbage truck was driven by the guy who owned the rundown motel in Action Jackson.
Right.
The
Oh,
old
no
black dude
kidding.
who was Kid Sable. He ended up punching out the Fu Manchu Asian dude who was in everything. I'm surprised he wasn't in this in the 80s with the long hair, balding on top with the long hair on the side.
Right.
That was the old black dude. He was also in this. This is 4 years before Action Jackson.
Right.
But I got him a little spot
Is
in
he
the very.
the one that talk like this and action?
Yeah.
Right.
Go down there and ask for D. Yeah.
Right. And then D was like the gossipy hairdresser.
Yeah, the hair.
she was no. Let's keep her. Let's not oversimplify her. She's like, listen, 500 kilograms of the shit is coming in. Like, like, damn.
She knew the power structure. Peter Delaplane, who's next, why they got killed. I mean, I don't know how that. I don't know whose hair she was doing.
Right.
But she was plugged in.
Right.
She knew everything. It's like, who's going to win the Super Bowl? Like,
I like to believe in a world where Beverly Hills Cop and the Terminator take place in the same universe. And on the other side of town, Axel Foley is trying to solve crimes while the Terminator is trying to kill Sarah Connor. There's a crossover for you.
Dude.
I need that.
That would be an amazing movie.
Right. Let's see. Remote Fate for 10. Thank you again. The Terminator franchise has some of the best sound effects and sound direction in an action movie. Absolutely agreed. It's iconic.
Yeah, true.
So much about at least the first two Terminator movies. Absolutely iconic.
Yeah.
And this first one is a lot better than I remembered. Like I said, I'd seen it once when I was about 10. And then I saw T2 over and over and over as a teenager. But Terminator, this one has a lot of heart in it that I didn't remember.
And it stands the test of time.
It does.
It's a good movie. You know,
right?
Side effects, a couple scenes here and there, but that's to be expected. It's damn near 40 years ago,
right?
But yeah, stood the test of time. Great movie. And then here's where we get introduced to completely naked Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Right?
Yeah, tank.
Yeah,
freaking tank.
Right. This is 4 years after his last Mr. Olympia. This dude is still ripped. This is a year before Commando, so this dude is straight. He's shredded, and he was perfect for this role. This is a different Arnold. This isn't the a lot more lines, maybe more emotional Arnold. Even in Predator, he's talking a lot. He's going his motions up and down, losing guys and all this kind of shit. But in this, extremely robotic and just not animated, stone face, on a mission. I mean, I don't think this could have been played by anybody else, even somebody with a similar size. Let's say they got some wrestler or something like that to play him, or Lou Ferrigno or somebody that's big, and could have played this part. I don't think, and not that he's I don't think he has any Oscars on his mantle, but he played the shit out of this. And the accent, it worked. It just made him, he's from a different time. That just worked. He's foreign in this sense. He's foreign in his voice, and maybe, let your mind fill in that gap. How did he get that accent? Maybe they just filled it in with some sound. Yeah. Who knows? Some sound file or some voice file, but he nailed this movie physically and everything. I mean, this is great.
He did. He was perfect for this. Look at Rodwell coming in here. Axel Foley worked with RoboCop in Detroit, then went to Beverly Hills and worked with Kyle Reese to stop the Terminator. Now that is the movie I need to see.
How do you build that kind of partner resume? You go from RoboCop to Kyle Reese. Axel Foley, he's something special, man.
Right. Someone brought it up. Go ahead, Sean. I'll get to that.
I was just going to say, now I'm picturing Axel Foley saying to RoboCop, I've got this perfect place, totally relaxed. We're just going to have a nice conversation. Trust me.
Yeah.
RoboCop at the strip club.
Yeah. Always a strip club scene.
Oh, man.
Very much 80s.
Yes, thank you.
The Horror of One, Gabe, did you know O.J. Simpson was considered for the T-800 role, but James Cameron said he didn't want him because he thinks he's too nice? Yes, right before the show, either Jericho or Sean reminded me of that. I had heard that before, that people wouldn't buy that O.J. was a mean guy because he was such an affable, charismatic dude in all the movies he had been in and the commercials for like Hertz Rent-A-Car. And wait until 1994 because this story has an interesting ending to it.
He would have been like, "Nah, he's too mean. He's too much of a actual
the
stone
Terminator,
cold
I mean,
killer."
they terminate people, but they don't torture them.
Jeez. But that, I mean, I don't even want to take my mind to a world where O.J. Simpson played this role. Arnold was perfect. However he got here, man, and this was awesome. Look at that dude. He's with a 52-inch chest. This dude's a tank.
The movie with Axel Foley, RoboCop, and the Terminator would be so badass. You are right.
Yeah, we're going to be a couple minutes into this movie, and you're going to look at the cast. Look at who we've got as side characters.
R.I.P.
You've got Bill Paxton, the gentleman whose clothes he takes I don't know, but the other guy is in
Cobra.
The other guy's in Lionheart as
in
the
a
assistant.
ton of movies. He has that.
Yeah,
really
he's
weird
another
face.
character
Star
actor
Trek.
from the 80s.
Everything. He's a great actor. Everybody in the chat is going to know his name, and I'm totally blanking on his name. He had a couple of starring direct-to-video movies and things like that too, but great actor. That you couldn't swing a cat and not hit somebody who was great in an 80s movies. That's the way it is, man.
Trust me, I swing cats all the time.
Let me tell you something. I mean, metaphorically.
Yeah.
You know, go ahead.
Not really. But that dude, whenever you needed some sinister, beefy kind of guy, and he had a very distinct face and a very distinct voice. It doesn't really showcase in here. He probably wouldn't shit in 84. But man. And then look at these. This is the 80s. The spiked blue hair, the punks, the chains. These were the bad guys of the 80s. You look at Police Academy and others, all spiked hair, mohawks, leather, fingerless gloves. Like this was the uniform of the thug of the day. And this image meant punks. You see this? Anti-establishment punks. And he just comes up to him, and right before this, when you see him walking toward him with the shadows, you can see his dick swinging a little bit. But I guess that added to the to the realness of it.
I looked very closely at this one, Sean, to make sure you didn't slip me a little.
No, I didn't.
I want big Arnold on the show. I don't need little Arnie. You know,
dude, you don't understand, man. Because we're going to get to a scene. Speaking of things of that nature, but in the other direction, grabbing a screen cap of Linda Hamilton during a particular sequence. That was. Let me tell you something, Linda.
Linda was beautiful. Another great casting with Linda Hamilton.
Right, Lumix for $10. Agree with the Rumafe on sound design, but at some point the sound of lasers in T1 was changed. Original release sound was simply a crack that struck me as realistic. I did not know that. Thank you very much. Yeah. The chat is always so great. They're always so informative. So much stuff.
Thank you for that. Yep. But yeah, it didn't go too well. These guys, of course, are giving him attitude. Of course, this big naked guy, give me your clothes and your jacket now. Yeah, exactly. Street punks. These are street punks. And
right. What is the classic line he says to these guys? He's like, give me your clothes, your boots. What is he like? What exactly does he tell them? I think
he says, give me your clothes and your jacket now.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, but they're also going laundry day, huh? Like they're absolutely
he's repeating
messing with him.
Yeah.
And what's his name? The actor who someone in the chat just got, that was, oh my gosh, I can't believe I
Brian Thompson?
Yeah, Brian Thompson, thank you. Right. Look what the next shot. Brian Thompson decides to take a knife out and see what he can see.
They all did.
They all did, yeah. I mean, everybody was carrying a knife. Yeah, everybody had a blade.
And a switchblade, too. That was the punk weapon, the switchblade.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Kramer.
No, it's not.
No.
It's not, but I see what you're saying. It looks like it's slightly, but it's not.
If it was, that would be absolutely brilliant.
Whoa.
Yeah. No, he slides in, hey.
Wait a minute. Now, Jericho, what if the Terminator was played by Jerry Seinfeld and that was Michael Richards? What would he say when he came up to get their clothes?
Well, what's the deal?
He's got to switch it.
Are you combining both voices?
What's the deal? I don't know.
That was beautiful, though.
I do wonder about these three. They're like on some. So in Los Angeles, there's Griffith Park is the park. A lot of people go running in the hill up there, up Mulholland Drive and all that. And it's where the big Hollywood sign is on that little mountain there. Mm-hmm. And there's an observatory right in the background. Behind him is the Griffith Observatory. So this is at the peak between the valley to the north, that's Van Nuys and all that stuff, and Los Angeles and Hollywood to the south. So I do wonder what three hardcore punks are doing looking through like a tourist telescope up there. Like they're having they're badass like Sex Pistol punks, but they're having wholesome fun,
And they're into the observatory and the history and the stars and all that stuff. These guys are well-rounded punks. These aren't your average, street toughs.
Right.
These guys, they grew up, down the hill from the observatory, so they got a little culture to them. But it doesn't matter because they're all about to die. Well, except for the guy who ends up who actually gives up his clothes. Homeboy right there, he goes ahead and reaches in and takes his heart out. And then Bill Paxton, he just gets, there you go. I think screen grab of the year, by the way.
Yep.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And it almost has like some tissue, like the real dark part. It's not just blood. Like, it was very realistic. Like, he probably got some of his liver in there or something like that. I mean, that's screen grab of the year. But, you know, he does ask him nicely. They give him some shit. They pull out their switchblades. So he gave it to him. And it also shows, yes, it's a stone cold killer and it's a machine and it's bent on death. But only, I mean, should he have killed these guys for giving him shit? But they did pull out blades. He saw that as aggression. Those are weapons. Right. Take him out. But this guy, he gives it up. And as far as we know, he doesn't die because he's not posing a threat. But he was naked and needed some clothes. And then that guy
escapes with his life, then runs to his friend Jerry's apartment. He's like, "Oh, Jerry, there is one crazy dude out there."
And to be clear, they stabbed him before he did that. Right. So not only did they pull their knives out, they actually stabbed the guy, and he was like, "All right, I can see.
This is what I have to do."
Sean, see what I have to do. You're the Terminator's country lawyer. Now I'm just a humble country lawyer.
No, exactly. I'm like, now listen, everybody, listen.
My defendant was stabbed in his central processor by.
Did I mention that these three boys were from Los Angeles? I think we know what I mean when I say Los Angeles, right? Yeah. So my client comes up in a state of disrepair, and these fools what kind of young men shank a naked man? No, there you go. That's it.
Now, is it just me?
Yeah, especially one that looks like that dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Shredded. But he goes in and gets his clothes the hard way.
Yeah, he gets Kramer's jacket. We're gonna just say it's Kramer, whatever. And then we cut to another scene in the city of more of that time travel, multi-dimensional lightning or whatever.
But this is in an alley. This is in an alley between two buildings, like right off the street. Sidewalk, future lightning storm, naked dude spit out. But Arnold has the cool entry. He's down in like the superhero, almost a superhero crouch. He stands up and all that. He's huge. He's buff. But this guy's human, so it's a little rougher on him. He's like almost like he has the wind knocked out of him. And he just dropped. Like, he doesn't have a cool pose. He's just like, the sky shit him out. And he just falls on the ground. And then the cops immediately show up.
Yeah, dead on. But I have to say, this is a brilliant bit of storytelling. This is when people thought about things. Look at him. They're going to show how he got those burns in a future scene.
Right.
And this is the thing. Mm-hmm. So he comes through, and we see Arnold, and Arnold looks like he was just manufactured. Yeah. You know, he looks like he just rolled off the assembly line, so to speak. This guy, the first part we see of his back, he is burned and scarred to hell. I mean, that is like, this is what the future has in store for us. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, for humans, it's all bad. And the cops are immediately on him. And this shows that he's a good guy because he could have easily shot that cop's face off. But he doesn't, but he wants to know what's the day. And he tells him, he's all, when is it? You know, or what date is it or whatever. He tells him, he's like, no, the year. And he doesn't get to tell him because another cop shows up and he takes off running, which takes us into one of my favorite all-time action movie tropes. The mall, the sporting goods store, break in, getting everything you need scene. I love that. And they usually end up grabbing some kind of canister of gasoline and, you know, a few supplies to blow some shit up. He doesn't go that far here, but he does get some clothes and stuff like that. And he's hiding from the cops, but it's inside like a Big Five or, you know, like a Dick's Sporting Goods. It kind of has everything, clothes and bows and arrows and shit. But this is one of the classic scenes. It didn't go on long enough for me, but I love it when they're inside of like a department store.
Yeah. It is that classic trope. It is a fun one, but for sure we don't have a shot of that in there. But here's just a shot. He was in a booth putting on some shoes. Cops were skulking around in the Big Five looking for him. Yeah. He takes off running and he grabs a shotgun. Right? He grabs a shotgun because it is a sporting goods store, and he's hiding.
Did he grab that? I think he grabbed that.
He got out of the police car.
He grabbed out of the squad car in the alley. Yeah. That's right. And his pants that he's wearing, he stole them from a hobo.
But the hobo had like leggings on underneath.
We gotta talk about that.
He stole my pants, but he had like
that raises more questions than it answers.
Yeah, man. Like, why are you wearing those tights? That's what we
right. So far it's mysterious. You got this big buff guy teleport in from another dimension, kill these punks. You got another guy teleport in and not kill the cops, but definitely threaten them. So what is going on? Who are these two guys? Are they the same guys? Same kind of guys? Are they on the same side? Are they enemies? What is going on? We see a large finger of Arnold looking through a phone book for people named Sarah Connor.
But I think it's obvious off the bat which one's a good guy. You might not know where they're from or whatever, but
Right.
it's obvious who the good guy is because one guy ripped a dude's heart out and another guy let the cops live. So I think we know who the good guy and who the bad guy is. And there are 3 Sarah Connors to choose from. So here we go.
Right.
Yep.
Right. So we meet plucky young Sarah Connor here on that scooter of hers is so 80s.
That thing looks like
you're a little bit younger. You're only a couple years younger than me, but scooters were like a big thing in the mid 80s. Remember, Sean? They were like,
oh my God,
so cool. They were in movies and cartoons, and obviously here. I remember the GoBots. Remember the GoBots? Not the Transformers. I liked the GoBot scooter. That's not a very imaginative name, but yeah, there was a red scooter named Scooter. They really should have worked hard on that.
They were like,
I feel like the guy naming that one just named him in the parking lot before work because he had forgotten.
Yeah.
Hey,
Scooter.
We didn't name the red guy. What is he? It's a scooter. Scooter.
Scooter, yeah, it works. But yeah, the scooters had a moment in the 80s. Plush five, Highlander for a show. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, Christopher Lambert and Sean Connery. Lord,
yes.
Going to be a Lord.
I should say Highlander for a show? Yes, of course. Of course.
Nice.
Horse money, Penny. Going to be the Lord of Danger.
But yeah, we're finishing out the year with Arnold. It's Arnold Vemba for the rest of the year. So
yeah, but this scooter looks like it weighs 17,000 pounds.
Yeah.
I mean, that thing is a tank.
Right.
But that's the 80s for you. That was cutting edge. That was high tech technology. And yeah, Sarah Connor, I guess she's more on the end of the plain Jane end of the spectrum, but still hot. Sarah Connor's fine.
Yeah, and she works at a fake Bob's Big Boy. I wish we had a shot of the statue. For those of you that don't know, there was a Southern California chain. I think it's spread nationally, and now I don't know if they're out of business. Bob's Big Boy. And there's a big guy outside holding a hamburger in one hand. And this Bob's Big Boy in the movie is the worst looking fake one of all time.
It's like Rob's Big Boy.
It looks right. It looks like a middle school art project. It's so bad.
Hey, kid, can we buy that from you for a movie? Yeah, sure, mister.
It's Gumby.
Can I get some bubble gum and a baseball card for this thing? Right. Yeah, and then it tells you not only her name, but the date. So this is 2 days after Kyle Reese and the Terminator showed up because the cop said it's the 12th, May. And that her time card says the 14th. So they've been here for a couple of days. So they're pretty hot on her trail, being that they've been here for 48 hours. And you saw Arnold, or the T-800, you saw him looking through the phone book. And Kyle Reese does the same thing soon after. So he kind of knows what, how the Terminator is going to approach this and how he's going to try to locate her. Because he definitely has to use his brain over the Terminator's brawn. Because, it's a machine. And it's ruthless, and if he gets his hands on him, he's dead. So he definitely has to use his craftiness to outsmart this thing and try to get to her before it does. Because as you're going to find out soon, it don't matter who's there. Once he starts to shooting, everybody gets it.
Right. Yeah. So what we've got here in the opening minutes of this movie is really great storytelling, establishing the 3 characters, kind of their motivation a little bit, and their personalities. You got Arnold, he's a cold killer. I mean, he just punched that kid's heart out and took the other guy's jacket and killed the other one. Then you have Kyle Reese, Michael Biehn, and he's a desperate man, but he's willing to do what he needs to do to get his mission done. So he running from the cops. He stole some clothes and some stuff from the sporting goods store because he's desperate. So the one guy's a cold killer. The other guy's desperate but committed. And then we meet her, Sarah Connor, and it seems like she has a big heart. She's a waitress. She's late to work. Nothing's going right. She spills all this food here. And then that little kid with the bowl haircut, he puts a scoop of that Italian rainbow sherbet in the pocket of her dress. So she's just having a bad day. She's late to work, and she's got a kid putting ice cream in her pockets. So and then she has like a sassy girlfriend that works with her at the restaurant, and they're also roommates. So you get really good character establishment from each character. They each get these opening scenes and find out who they are.
And thinking about having the first time you see this movie, you may not know at this point that that's a robot. Because he's shown up and he has skin on him. So you think it's a human, but then you see him, put his hand through this dude's chest and lift him off the ground. But you still may not know that that's a robot. You think that this is just some buff psycho who's just like this other guy. But that kid, like, I don't know. I mean, is it wrong to say you would slap the fuck out of that kid? Because you put a scoop of ice cream in my pocket, you little shit. So you're getting it on your head or something.
In
get
India,
that. She
you would
wasn't
be
doing
dead
that.
before you turned around. No.
You little bastard. And then your parents just sit here as you put ice cream in
Oh,
somebody's
no.
pocket. Do you know what I would do to my child if they did that to somebody? Was that kid like 5? You know better than that. Fucker. Oh.
A kid that would have the temerity to put ice cream into a hardworking waitress's pocket. That's the kind of kid that tells his mom and dad to shut up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In front
Get out of my
other
room.
adults.
Calls them by their first name.
Right. Oh, shut up, Rob.
Dude, I would have blood coming out of my ears if I said that.
Here's another thing too, though, because we talk about the '80s as taking nods to the '50s and taking nods to, in some ways, yesteryear. But what's wonderful about Sarah Connor in this movie is we spend time with her enough to where we start to understand that she's special, but she's a kind of gal you'd like to get to know better. You know, she's dealing with real things, but that nobody around her notices. And she doesn't have any concept that she is one that got a date with destiny, and that there's a person who has essentially given up his future in his time and knows almost certainly it's potentially could die on his way or die in the process of this for her because he understands that she's that important. And if that isn't something that I think young ladies should understand the symbolism of, and that, you know, and also to young men out there, by the way, there are a lot of amazing women out there that you might not be noticing too. And there's something really great about that, you know, and I love that aspect of this.
Yeah, we'll get to that. They get a very strong bond.
And he knows it's a suicide mission.
Yep.
He says nobody comes back. Nobody comes back. So he knows once he goes, that's it. So yeah, he's making a huge, he's sacrificing his life, and he knows it from the jump.
Yeah. Right. Now, I would like to read from the record, Mr. Terminator. Robbie13 claims that this is your statement. Did you in fact say this? Could you read it for the jury, Mr. Terminator?
Does that sound like something I would say? Okay, let me say your stupid line right here. I need your clothes, your boots, and 9 minutes with your housekeeper. Does that sound like something I would say to somebody? Huh? All right, I'm under oath. I did say that, and I did get 9 minutes with the housekeeper.
Maria,
have you seen the child that we made together? He looks like a Mexican me.
Oh goodness! All
yeah,
right,
Arnold. Let's be clear. Arnold has some dominant genes. Like it's like you picture the baby coming out looking just like Arnold.
Cancel that paternity test right now because you look at that dude's face.
Can you imagine that judge?
He looks like a Mexican Arnold Schwarzenegger. There's nobody else that boy looks like on this earth.
His name is Joseph Baena.
He didn't even give him his last name.
Let's take a look at him. Let's take a look at good old Joey B.
That's the Mexican kid or his son? That's the housekeeper's kid?
That's that's the other kid, yeah.
Dude, and you even get his build?
Oh my god.
Come on, Judge, it's not my kid. Look at him. Look at the deltoid.
Listen to his accent. It's not my son.
They're all saying at the same time, I'm not related to him. Stop talking like me.
Oh my goodness. All right, so the Terminator, or Arnie, he goes, and now this is a different world, guys. This is 1984, before there were any weapon bans or anything.
2 years before the automatic weapons ban. So you could buy whatever the fuck you wanted.
Right. So he goes into this store and he looks for about 5 or 6 guns. He also asks for a plasma rifle in the 40-watt range.
Yeah, he's like, hey, only what you see here, pal. And this guy, another great character actor from the 80s. How many freaking movies was this guy in?
A ton. A ton. Man.
Right.
And I have to say, just because I think this is so important, I did a stream last night on my channel talking about just the importance of having a list of movies to give to young men and people who want to see inspiring work about heroism, about, you know, things that are a part of the American canon of work, so to speak, that are fun, that are popcorn films, that are great. This is one of them. But I will say, you know, with my dying breath, that all great popcorn films are aware of what came before. And there's a famous scene in the movie Public Enemy when James Cagney is on the run. He goes to a gun shop, asks about a particular gun, asks how to load it, and then robs the guy and takes the gun. And it was a famous scene. And this was he didn't shoot the guy, but he said stick him up and then walks out. But this is an homage to that. You got to know your film history, and you got to make great references to these things.
Yeah, he asked him for the automatic shotgun, the 45 long slide. He's like, yeah, laser sight, man. He's like, aim that at the target, and the bullet goes wherever the laser sight goes. And then he, gets all the guns and shit. And yeah, man, just it brought a tear to my eye seeing that the freedom with which he bought those guns in California at some point. And he said, yeah, it's going to be a 15-day cool-off period for I think it was for one of the machine guns that he got. And he's like, which one do you want? He goes, all. And he's like, oh, I'm going to close early today.
Close early, yeah.
Yeah, he has to close up early today. And then he loads up the shotgun. He's like, hey, you can't do that. Wrong. Boom.
Right.
Can you put that back up? None the miser.
Oh, let's see it. Where is it? I lost it. Oh, here we are.
Yeah, the phase plasma rifle with the 40-watt range. And he goes, hey, man, hey, man, only what you see here. And then, boom. And then this guy didn't have he didn't have a weapon. He didn't pose a threat. He wasn't holding a weapon. But I think he killed this dude because how else am I going to get out of here with these weapons?
15-day waiting period, too.
Yeah, he's like, I can't have that.
He needs it now.
This bitch. But yeah, he just smoked this dude for no reason, and it just adds to the callousness that they're giving this character.
We love that dude.
And even that jacket with the chains on it, I mean, that just makes him look just even more menacing. And he's he's doing great acting in this movie, even though he doesn't say a lot at all. Just his mannerisms.
He goes up to his phone booth to call one of the Sarah Connors to see if she's home or whatever. And there's a man on the phone. He just grabs a guy and throws him across the sidewalk.
Throws him out of the way. I mean, yeah, that was great. He just doesn't give a shit.
Hey, wait a minute. Where did he get changed to make a phone call?
I don't know.
He brought a quarter from the future.
Yeah, he's all, I don't have any pockets. Stick the quarter up my ass.
Well, they tried that. I think they were trying to correct that mistake although the wallet in the pants the guy gave him could very well have had some change.
Yeah, maybe the guy had a couple coins in his pocket. But yeah,
but in the sequel, right?
Uzi 9
he punches it. Remember that in the sequel he punches the payphone and all the quarters come out. He's like hands him the quarter. It's like, damn.
I got a funny story about punching stuff. So I was walking in downtown San Diego with my best friend. We're gonna go eat at this restaurant. Excuse me, I need a drink. But we were talking about video games for some reason. This is only like 6-7 years ago. I said, what a weird world, Mario Brothers. Mario's just walking down the street. He punches something and money comes out. And as I say it, I punch the side of a bus stop and a pair of sunglasses come out and I catch them. That's one of the weirdest things I've ever. I said, it's so weird. Mario just punches. Whoa. And I'm just like, what? It was just a bizarre moment.
Did you keep them?
So I did. I did keep them, and then I ended up breaking them. So
damn it. Yeah. Hey, no loss there.
Yeah. So anyway, he calls. Then he goes to the first house of Sarah Connor.
Oh, poor thing.
Yeah.
And before this, he pulls up. I mentioned this in the past live that we've done. But when he pulls up, there's a little 18-wheeler toy in the street, and he just pulls up and parks right on top of it and just smashes it. And that just adds another layer. Not only is he a stone cold killer and he's hellbent, it's almost telling you like he'll shoot a kid if he has to. Like what a dick. Why did you have to run over that kid? Like you're just an asshole. But he's not. It's not like he has emotions. It's almost telling you if a kid gets in the way, he'd even kill that little fucker too.
I can't decide. I can't decide if he's scary or not. I was talking to my wife when we were watching this like 2 days ago, and I'm like, I feel like if he were human or some sort of evil monster from hell or whatever, that's scary because there's evil, there's malice in his heart. But because this is like a machine, this is more like it's bad. Getting killed is terrible, but it isn't scary. Like it sounds like an accident at the factory. Oh, the guy got crushed by the machine because it's a machine. The machine didn't have an opinion or feelings. So, like, is he scary or not? He's terrible. Like, he kills. But I don't see him taking any joy. Like, he isn't mad when he does it. Just, this is what he does. I don't know. I can't figure out if he's scary or not. He didn't make a call. Just looked up and thank you for pointing that out.
There it is.
Secretary, not sure. I was hoping he had a quarter from the future. So thank you.
That's right.
Thank you.
Well, no, it was a slug. You know, it's just put it in a washer. But no, I mean, the thing about this too is, and I've heard people talk about this. He is in many senses, he's death personified. It's nothing personal. It's your time. You're going. I'm here. That's what it is, and that's what makes it so awful. And Kyle Reese has that great line, where he says, "Can't be reasoned with, can't be bargained with. He's not interested in money. He doesn't want, it's amazing."
He can't be bargained with. He can't be reasoned with. He doesn't feel pity or remorse or fear.
No, wait a minute. Can't be Arnie. If you were coming after Sean, say, there's nothing he could give you to get out of it. There's just nothing he could give you to get out of it, though. No.
Well, look, if we were in like real life, of course, Sean, you're my buddy. I wouldn't do that to you. But the script says here, I'd have to kill you.
No, I think what would happen is
he could offer you.
There's nothing you can offer me in the script. It says right here, I have to kill you. I'm sorry.
I just picture Arnold walks up to me in a tank top. I take one look at him and I just go, "Fucking kill me." Like, is this what the world has given me?
Wait a minute.
Really?
Wait a minute. Mike Likes Tacos has found the Terminator's kryptonite. So, Mr. Terminator, you're after my buddy Sean. I'm very upset, but there's nothing I can do. You're a killer robot. What if we offered you some Latinas chicas?
Only if she was portly and not too pretty. There's something about her. She's in here, she's dusting and she's cleaning. Oh, Mr. Schwarzenegger, can I change? It just says something to me. It makes blood go down there. All the blood goes down there.
So, Sean, if you're being hunted by the Terminator anytime in the future or the past, who knows? He time travels. Make sure you know a Latina, preferably a big booty Latina. Of some maturity, some age, and that'll get you right out of that, dude. At least you'll have a 9-minute head start,
You have at least 9 minutes to get out of here. 9 minutes, and you have a 9-minute head start, and after that, I can make
5 of them are taking the clothes off. That's the scary part.
Slower, yeah.
Right. So,
dude, he is scary because
he is scary.
In his world of war and hunting and destruction, that might not be scary, and those people might be used to it. But in our world, something that is just relentless and it's after you for no reason, you've done nothing to upset this thing, the not knowing of why it's after you, and just that's pretty scary. Just this relentless force coming after you until it gets to you. And I'm sure this lady was pretty scared as this big ass dude shoved her door off the hinges and then puts a red beam between her eyes. And then boom, gives her one between the eyes and then 5 more on the floor. Like, mission accomplished.
Yeah, what is with all the extra hot sauce?
He has to make sure she's dead.
I guess.
Yep.
He's scanning her vitals and she's still going. I got to put, close range 45 round, 45 those rounds. Yeah. She's a flatliner. She's in the flatline club.
Tari Owe for $2. Thank you, Tari. Tari's one of the OGs. He's been around my channel forever. He's an artist in his own right. Check him out on Instagram, Tari Owe. He lives in Los Angeles, where all of this went down, by the way. I'm glad you made it out alive, Tari. Hold on, guys. I need more popcorn and soda. You better run, but don't trip.
Well, let me ask you guys this. If somebody said, we'll send you back to Los Angeles 1984, you can stay in 2022, take away the family and all that stuff. It's just you. Would you rather stay here now or go back to Los Angeles 1984?
I mean, why am I going back there? Just to go there? Like to see the Olympics or see the Lakers?
No, just to live in that time where things were different.
Do I remember my family, though?
No. It's wiped clean. It's just you. They don't exist. But knowing the world we live in now and the way that things are now, would you rather stay here or if you could go back to 1984? Like, would you, stay here and be 25 years old or go back to 1984 and be 25 years old?
Jericho, just approach me. I've got no family, anything. Just approached me and said, I need you to go back in time for this white woman. I'm just saying, I probably am doing it. I'm not trying to say, like, I love my wife, but again, let's say I even have the wife. Look, she's not here, is she? and it's Sarah Connor, right? Just hear me out, guys. Listen, don't judge. No.
I mean, if that's the case, 25 years old now or 25 years old, 84, I'm taking 1984 all day. Oh,
Robitussin
man.
with codeine? Shanth is riding.
Man. Yeah, 25-year-old me in 1984. Let's go.
Right.
happen.
So we cut back to work. Sarah Connor's still waiting tables, scooping melted ice cream out of her pockets from little bull
From that
haircut
little
kids.
shit.
And her sassy friend at work calls her into the break room. What a morbid thing to do. Hey, Jericho, someone on the news with your name got pasted. Let's go laugh about it.
Got shot 6 times in her living room. Ha
Yeah, you're dead. Look, you're dead. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So her friend calls her in to tell her that someone with her name just got. And she thinks it's funny. So this is a deranged woman. So, yeah, kind of weird. Goodness. So we have Kyle Reese. What is he doing here near the junkyard, the construction? I don't remember.
Resting in the car.
Yeah,
just resting in the car, and then
sleep.
Yeah, and then construction lights hit him, and he has a flashback.
Right. He has his Nam flashback because this large crane at the 1984 junkyard or wherever he's hiding out reminds him of these evil Skynet army.
Yeah.
Magenta lasers coming.
That was a nice transition.
Look how great that shot is. That's a comic book panel right there. I'm screenshotting that. I'm stealing that for later. That has great lighting and composition. So
that's almost like a phosphorus kind of explosion there.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
I could find it.
I tried to grab those shots, guys.
That's a good one.
Building the colors. Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But so we get to see him now here in 1984 Los Angeles. And he has his waking dream, his flashback of that's him there, running around, scuttling through a battlefield of skulls and broken vehicles, and they've got that whole freedom fighter thing going on. A little bit of Mad Max aesthetic again, like the punks in the beginning, where this stuff is like all ad hoc, put together very strangely, and the car that shows up is right out of Mad Max to save him. Him and this girl are kind of hiding in between rubble. The big army tank, it's like 30 feet tall. It's a weird thing. Driving around, and she gets wasted. We don't have a shot, but she gets wasted right here, like pulped into like a red mist. She gets hit by a laser. It's pretty bad. He gets away and jumps on the Mad Max mobile, and they have to boogie because this flying thing is after them, shooting lasers, and it's crazy. And it ends up shooting them. They crash, and here's where he gets all burned up, as you pointed out earlier, Sean.
Yep, trapped in the car, can't get out, burned. Right. And then you can't ever get a good frame of this because it happens so fast. But he wakes up, and someone correctly was saying in the chat that, a Secretary Not Sure says he was stealing the car, and then he kind of, like, passed out for a bit. And when he wakes up, he just, like, cocks the shotgun. He's just, like snaps awake, like, holy shit, like, just let himself doze for just a minute, man.
Yeah, Simply Green also expands on that. Yeah, a good reason for a flashback, and it doesn't overstay its welcome. Yes. Transitions back to a... cop, if I remember correctly. This movie underrated for how well it's crafted because the premise is exciting. Hamilton and Schwarzenegger and Bean, they're all great, the actors and even the character actors. But the sound design, the pacing, the plotting, and all that is actually really good in this. Underrated for that. So,
it's pretty fast paced. I mean, they're about to. You've already had the Terminator take out some people and stuff and some exciting scenes with him, but it's about to take off, man. And it's there's not a lot of downtime. In the beginning, they set it up, pretty quick, and man, you get into it. And like I said, by the time they get to her, they even show her for the first time. They've already been in town for 2 days. So it's time to go. Right.
So we get to the waitress's apartment. They're two young girls living in Los Angeles in the early 80s. Must have been very exciting for them. The phone rings and someone starts talking nasty.
Dirty.
I will not repeat it on these airwaves. But hey, something I'm gonna do to you later, Toots.
Hey, something to do with your underways.
Yeah, he starts in with all of that. But it's the wrong girl. Can you imagine? Have you ever sent the wrong message to the wrong person? I have not done this.
Only on low-level shit, nothing incriminating or nothing mean.
Yeah.
Like, you see that fucking piece of shit? Whoops. I didn't mean that. No.
Sorry, Ma. No, listen, no, it's like, this is the thing, though, right? Here's the thing that I loved about this. If people are wondering why the 80s were so great, she picks up the phone, this guy is talking Slider from Top Gun, dare I say, is talking all kinds of who lord to her, and she's laughing about it.
Right.
It's funny to her, and it's a laughable moment. She's not like ugh,
Right.
like what is wrong? Like she is not, and we know from seeing her, she is a hardworking person. She's not the kind of person she feels like that anybody notices. There's, in a sense, outside of that one picture, there's not a tremendous record of her. So it's incredible. Like she's always on the outside of where it's happening, is what you get from this character. And it's really kind of she's so sweet and endearing in a scene like this. I love it. It's
And
so
she
great.
let him go on. She could have stopped him right away, but she kind of let him go on because the shit was funny. She knew how embarrassed he would be, once he realized who it was. And now it would be like, don't talk to me like that. You're a pig. You're a misogynist. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It played out nicely.
We've all either said or shown someone something we shouldn't have, or we've seen it or heard it. Oh, I'm thinking of something right now. I'm not even gonna say it.
I can imagine.
Heard something once.
I can
heard
imagine.
something once when I was young that I wish I never heard.
We've all been there.
Oh, no.
Yep.
All right.
I know somebody.
Gotta shake it off.
I know somebody very close to me who didn't only hear, they saw.
Oh,
That's a whole nother level of trauma that you can never get rid of.
can't unsee that. Changes a person.
Yeah. Not in the way you want to be changed.
No sir.
Anyway, let's move on.
Anywho. Brain scrub. Let's go.
I should have asked myself that question.
I need one of those Men in Black.
Oh, look at these gents.
Take your memory away. Hey,
Right.
Paul Winfield.
We got the lead villain from Stone Cold, Mr. Heinrichsen himself.
Yeah, man.
Remember the line he says in that movie?
Biker hippie.
His father's last words were, "Son, put that down. It's loaded."
Oh my God!
If you guys have not seen Stone Cold,
That's some dark shit.
Change your life.
Very, very hard to find. I finally found it like from another country on DVD on Amazon for like $10. But for years, that thing was like $100 and you just couldn't find it almost. Stone Cold is one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
But when
It
you
is
do find it, I mean, if you're in for a piece of shit.
Oh.
But not there are a few pieces of shit that have been crafted so well.
Right.
And if you want to see a hero that does everything wrong,
Right.
this is the movie for you. He does nothing right.
Right.
Man, he's still somehow at the end, he's the last man standing at the courthouse. But
Yeah.
Remember when we found out that was a $25 million movie?
Yes.
where did it go?
Exactly.
That went in somebody's nasal passages.
No idea.
Jeez, that went up their nose and on their gums off of some hooker's ass.
Well,
I mean, that was crazy. Yeah, the Boz. man.
sort of, yeah. But
Right.
yeah,
It was
this is the
about
thing.
when you joined the show, Jericho. I think it was about the 4th movie we reviewed. So if you check out a playlist on this channel, Double Impact with Gabe, Shant, and Jericho, it's on there. Stone Cold. You have to see it. You have to see it.
We
And our review.
subjected Jericho to that. We subjected him to it, and I will say
But
this.
go ahead, man.
No. Go.
I mean, it's not like it has a bunch of, community theater actors you've never heard of before. A pretty star-studded lineup. You got this guy in there, and you got William Forsythe.
Yep.
So you got some heavy hitters in there, some great actors, and he's been in at least one other movie that we've done, Out for Justice. But Stone Cold it has its own place in history.
I stand by that movie. I love that movie.
I mean, it's a great watch.
It's such a piece of garbage.
But it's horrible.
Watch it with your buddies. You'll laugh your heads off.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so bad. So anyway, we get to the police station here. The chief, I don't know his rank, chief, sergeant, the man
He's like
in
a
the
captain
purple.
or something.
Captain,
Another
sure.
great character actor from the 80s. If you needed some stern principal to sit on the corner of his desk and talk to some ne'er-do-well at the end of a sitcom, this was your guy.
Right.
He was the guy that was going to talk some sense into you. He was the guy that was going to give you some wisdom. There was this movie called Sounder, and it was like the black version of Old Yeller, and he played the father in that. Great movie. I mean, it'll bring you to tears. But Paul Winfield, he was everywhere doing everything. But if you needed that elder statesman, to talk to somebody in a sitcom or something, or a movie, I mean, dude, he was awesome. And in this movie, great dude. You really hope the best for him, being as good as he is at his job and very caring and going the extra mile for the citizens of Los Angeles.
Right. So him and his detective here, Hendrickson, they're going to start looking into this Sarah Connor thing because this is wild. Some lady's just home and she gets blasted with a 45 with the laser scope 6
times. It's a lot.
Yeah, that 4th, 5th, and 6th one, that's just insulting.
Yeah,
completely
and she was like a mom. She was like a stay-at-home mom with a couple kids in the suburbs. There were kids outside playing who were horrified at this giant, barreling out of the house after he shot this woman after hearing those gunshots. So they're thinking, why would this woman? What has she done in her life to warrant an execution like this?
Right. So back to the girlfriend. It's date night. Sarah Connor gets canceled on, but big brown perm. She's going to go out with Slider. And he's going to follow through on his promises. I can tell you that right now.
Slider, man of his word.
Hey, they don't call him Slider for no reason.
Hey, I'm sliding in there.
He's schmanging. That's all there is to it.
Hey, he's a man of his word. Integrity. That's a key lesson for young men. Integrity. Be a man of your word. If you call some girl up and make a bunch of promises,
right?
Well, you can't write checks that your penis can't cash. You gotta be a man of your
word.
word.
Talking all that romantic trash when you're taking your wife out on a date.
Yeah.
Both fall asleep on the couch.
You can't do that, fellas.
Don't do that.
I've been married 26 years. I'm gonna give you guys a pro tip. This is PG-13, but I'm married, so it's legit. You don't go out with your wife to the dinner and the movie and then go home and get it on, right? You're full of food, maybe booze if you drink, popcorn if you went to a movie, steak, appetizer, soup, dessert. You don't want to be jostling with the full belly. Doesn't feel good. You get romantic first, then you go out to dinner.
That's right. Takes the pressure off.
That's how we do it.
Takes the pressure off. Everybody has a clear head.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it.
Or like combine the two, right? So McDonald's drive-through. Now I don't know if this is good advice. No,
but it's advice.
But no,
the
reality of it is, guys, and I'll tell you this: all of my excellent advice I could give you in that sphere, none of it's PG-13. So let's ride.
Damn it! Use your imagination, kids.
There you go, kids.
Right. So Sarah's going to go hang out by herself, go see a movie or something like that.
Yeah.
Slider's going to do some sliding, if you know what I mean. And the cops are on the trail. What is going on with this large Austrian robot man? What is he doing?
Yeah. And has he taken out the second one yet?
No, you're looking right at her. Her and Slider, they sliding.
With her Walkman on.
Oh, wait a second, actually. If I'm not mistaken, someone in the chat correct me. I'm pretty sure. Stop, chat.
Hey, give it the old in and out, and then take it in and out.
He's in there and he's out of there and he's back in and he's out of there.
Babe, do you wanna go back to our place? Sorry, I've got a burger. This night can't get better. I mean, what
are you bringing to the table?
Thing.
We'll do the in and out. We'll do it animal style, double. Then I'll take you out for a burger.
Oh,
that's right. So this is the thing, right? And this is, correct me if I'm wrong. They didn't show the execution of the next Sarah. It's revealed, and you get that great moment revealed on television. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the only thing we see of it.
Okay. So that's what that newscaster was saying. She was talking about the second one. Because that's when the cops really kick it into high gear, and that's when Sarah Connor
whoa,
gets real worried because there's two of them, or it's right here. Yeah. There's two of them.
There.
Two Sarah Connors.
It's very important to note that the brunette with Slider here, she likes her Walkman and she's listening to it while they're getting ready. The two girls are getting ready, and she doesn't hear the phone because she's listening to it. And that is very good writing because when she gets a phone call, Arnold calls her like, "Hey, is this Sarah Connor?" He's calling over there, and the answer machine answers, "This is Sarah. Nobody's home." And she can't hear it because her and Slider, not only they slide and they're listening to the jams. 1984. I wonder what song they're listening to. Probably some Michael Jackson or something.
But he can't be that good at sliding if she keeps her Walkman on while he's sliding.
I would feel assaulted.
Come on. Can you at least take him?
I'm pretending you're Prince.
Oh, no.
that would be the
better,
time.
I guess that's better than her checking her watch.
That
Yeah,
is her checking
That'd
her
be
watch.
excellent.
That's basically her checking her watch. She has her Walkman
Yes.
on.
Yeah.
But whatever, that ain't stopping Slider. You know what I mean? He's a
Right.
man of his word. He kept it. I respect it.
So they got a little Van Halen 1984 maybe going in there. Could be.
Well, and then she has that song when she
Very
gets
white.
up, where she's like, "It's a mistake, it's a mistake, yeah, 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 yeah." So I don't know if she was listening to that same song. I don't know how quick Slider slides, but that could be the same song that she was listening to, and he was just
It's
finished.
elevator music.
Yeah, some soft rock. Kenny G.
Oh my
She
god.
listening to Kenny G.
It was a Captain and Tennille. You know,
Like
that
Celine Dion.
yacht rock.
Yeah, she was
But
listening to
yeah,
that
so
soft
she
rock.
got stiffed. Linda Hamilton gets stiffed. Sarah Connor gets stiffed. So she just like goes to a bar or whatever by herself. And on the news, it talks about the second Sarah Connor was killed, right? That's what this news guy starts talking about. And one of the patrons of the bar is like, "Oh, can you change it?" It's like depressing news. And she screams like, "No!" Because earlier in the day at the restaurant, her waitress friend had told her, "Hey, look, Sarah Connor got whacked." So now she's like, 2 Sarah Connors? So she's like, holy crap. She knows she's a third. At least she doesn't know how many live in town. So she calls her friend.
Well, she goes to the phone book.
Yeah, she
and
finds
she
out
checks,
she's-
and she
there's
realizes she's
shit.
the third on the list, and they're going in order.
Right.
It's like, oh.
Yeah. And when she's in that bar and she's at that phone, when she's looking through the phone book, there is a guy standing next to it who just keeps staring at her. So you might think, she, or at least she's thinking this guy could be some kind of weirdo because he's like staring at her the whole time that she's there at the phone booth. And then that's another thing. We had to use phone books at one time. Right. And you caught shit when you caught it, like her in the bar happening to hear, the news and shit. It wasn't in her pocket. It wasn't, she wasn't constantly looking at updates. There was a time where you just ran into information when you ran into it, and it was very limited, like this phone book, and that's it. And she sees like, oh shit, those 2 are down. I'm number 3. Time to start freaking out.
Let's talk about this classic trope, and I don't mind it. Some people say it's corny, but I defend this. I think it's a useful thing, and it's really overdone, but let's keep doing it anyway. The characters in the comic book, the movie, the whatever they are, they happen to be in front of the radio or the television right at the right time to get some information they need to move the plot along. I like the corniness of that. I do. It's very convenient. I get it. I like it. I don't think it's wrong. I don't think it hurts the story at all. So, of course, it's just one of those classic tropes from all genres of movies that you see on the news. Exactly what you needed to see is up on the TV. I think it's actually kind of funny. So, so she starts walking, and then there's a club she goes to called Tech Noir. Oh, but first we get the interlude back at the apartment.
Yeah, and there's
Kyle in the. Go ahead.
There are a few situations here where people just happen to pass each other. There's the one in the next clip where he's walking up to the apartment. There was a cop sitting in front there, but then it says 211 in progress at 7-Eleven. So the cop takes off because the detective, Paul Winfield, put a cop on her house, because, just in case, we don't want some shit to happen. So the cop was sitting there as protection. Not that that would have helped. I'm sure the Terminator would have fucked him up too. But right as the cop pulls off, that's when the Terminator walks up. And then there's a scene later where somebody or her at this club she's about to walk into, she looks down as he walks by. And there's another scene where somebody looks in there at their pager as he walks in somewhere. So there's a few times where they do that same thing you're talking about, Gabe, where they kind of, not move the plot along, but, these 2 people, we need to add suspense or whatever, they're doing it for.
Yeah. So Terminator pays a little visit to the apartment he just called where they were sliding and listening to that Sony Walkman.
Yeah.
And, poor Slider. How'd you like to, you're all relaxed now. You've completed the act of romance with your lady friend. You're thinking of maybe having a cigarette, maybe having a ham sandwich because she's in the kitchen.
She was making him a sandwich.
That's right. He said, "You like that, babe? Now make me a sandwich."
Hey, get in there and make me a sandwich with the gabagool.
I feel like Slider calls himself Slider. Hey, Slider needs some gabagool.
Hey, bring it over here. Hey, man, he earned it.
Right.
She didn't take her Walkman off, but he earned it. But in that scene where he happens to wake up right before he grabs him, but he moves and he like rips the pillow apart. Like he was gonna crush this dude's throat or face or whatever he was gonna grab him by. So he was coming in with some force, and she still can't get enough of her Walkman, but she looks like she's making a healthy plate.
I feel like they put some work in. Look at that. She's got the peanut butter, celery. She's got like a big old turkey sandwich and a glass of milk. This is a balanced.
Hey, that woman's a keeper.
Snack, you know?
That woman's a keeper. She got all snacks and shit. Yeah, she's great. But and you could see her Walkman. It's like a purse, has a big ass strap, and she has it on her arm. You know, they weren't just little earpieces. She puts in little earbuds. Not yet. And she's just doing her jam, and that stupid. They set that up earlier. Linda Hamilton's holding her iguana, and then they do like a little jump scare here. The iguana's on top of the fridge, and it knocks shit down and scares her. And then she grabs the sandwich and the ants on a log minus the ants, the peanut butter celery sticks. Hey, I wouldn't be mad at that either. Post-coital, she comes in with a sandwich that's a peanut butter on celery sticks.
That's right.
Yep.
Can I marry you twice?
That's right.
So,
girl, you make me want a divorce you so I can marry you again.
That's right.
Damn. That girl, she's taking care of me. So she grabs the mountainous plate and starts walking down the hall, and that's when Slider comes sliding through the door head first, fucking dead, because the Terminator was bouncing him off of every piece of glass in that bedroom.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, and then the Terminator. He terminates her.
Yeah, shoots her ass in the back. She took off, shot her in the back, and then he's getting his money's worth out of that 45 long slide with the laser sight. And just look how chunky that is. I mean, now laser sights, they fit right by the trigger well or right by where your finger is on the slide. Like, they're tiny. But back then it was like this whole, 8-inch contraption that added, I don't know how much damn weight to your gun. But he's very good with it because she gets the laser beam treatment.
Unlike, though, this is the craziest thing, unlike cell phones, when these things get smaller on these weapons, they don't look cooler. It looks so much cooler back then.
Oh, that shit was, it was awesome.
Right.
Awesome.
But here's a tricky thing. The Terminator's fairly intelligent, right? So he kills who he thought was the third and final Sarah Connor. I wonder, in another universe, if this were the third Sarah Connor, he completed his mission, what does the Terminator then do? He's stuck in 1984. Does he just get a job at a Sears Roebuck department store and work his way up to manager? Does he just live a normal life after he kills these people, or what does he do?
Yeah, they settle down.
He's gonna die. He's a robot. He's gonna live for ages.
Yeah, his battery was 500 years on it or some shit.
Yeah. Maybe he'll get into politics. He'll get into politics and run for governor or something like that.
Welcome to Sears.
First pass on the script, actually. He hooked up with a beautiful fax machine.
Oh.
And they, they had some
Was it
some kids.
Was it a Mexican fax machine?
Yeah, it was.
It had to be. He wouldn't touch it. And it was not a very attractive one.
Oh.
He's welcome to Sears. Would you like to see our washer dry combos? Well, if you go by that stupid dark whatever stupid shit they came out with, where he becomes like a stepdad and shit. Oh my god.
Dude, no.
Oh my god. I don't know. Maybe he has some self-destruct mode. Because I don't think he's gonna
throw the football outside.
Junior, come outside. We throw the ball back and forth. You tell me about your girlfriend. Terminator, Dad. Stop. Oh my god. But maybe
a convenient plot device. Again, the television tells Sarah Connor, "You're next," and now the answering machine tells Arnold. That was the wrong person because it's Sarah Connor on the answer machine, desperately trying to tell her friends, get out of there, something's going on. But that damn Walkman and Slider and all his magical moves. Oh, tragic.
Damn it, Slider. He slid for the last time.
Yeah.
Yep.
But, so he finds out she's at some club because she tells him, I'm down here, blah, 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 blah. Some guy's following me and shit. So, man, I don't know, maybe that trip, maybe he knows, okay, that's, what's his name? It's one of the humans that they sent from the future. And, again, before cell phone, so you just left a message and hoping that they catch it in time, She
tells him to pick her up and gives the address, right?
Yeah. He tells her and Slider to come and pick her up because she's scared. And so he hears that instead and goes to look for her. And this is a pretty scary scene right here. It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like this comment here. Yeah. He slid for the last time.
Man. Well, that was your last slide, man.
This is the thing about it, right, guys? I mean, it's there's the one advantage that Kyle Reese has that we are aware of at least we become aware of later on, is that he knows what Sarah Connor looks like. Now it's even. The Terminator finally knows what his target looks like, and that changes the game. Like, he knows who he's looking for. He gets confirmation of it, and that's the thing about, I don't know. That's the thing about flicks like this. There's 2 movies, and there's probably far more that I know of, that went out of their way to put their pitch into the actual movie proper, right? So in this movie, the idea of what James Cameron wanted to do was, he said, I want to create a movie that's tech noir, right? And so then they have this club called Tech Noir, and it's this.
You see in the background there, and when she was on the sidewalk, the playbill or whatever it would be, the billboard, it said it, Tech Noir,
Yeah, and in Pulp Fiction, funny enough, Quentin Tarantino was really influenced by a melodrama director named Douglas Sirk. And when they asked him what the aesthetic he wanted to go for in Pulp Fiction was, he said, I want to do a Douglas Sirk movie, but bloody as hell. And that's how they order the steak when they go to Jack Rabbit Slim's. He goes, I'll have the Douglas Sirk steak, bloody as hell. And so that's the stuff that these greater directors would do. You know, they actually knew their film history. They knew what they were doing. He's referencing noir films. Those films are coming out, in a particular time period. Just before those, you get the first gangster films. You get Jimmy Cagney pulling the gun and stealing the gun from the gun shop. I mean, these guys were smart. They knew their history.
Very cool. Yeah, I think as comic book artists, we try and slip little things in, little winks and nods to other artists or comic books we love or whatever like that. You'll see certain covers reproduced over and over and over through the generations. New artists will homage those covers. And it's fun. It's kind of a way of honoring your roots. You know what I mean? It isn't ripping off or copying it. You're doing it as as an homage, Yeah. So now he knows that she goes to the local university, spring 1984 semester. Tuition, all of $700 a semester.
Paid.
So, yeah. Dang. So she calls the chief and Heinrichsen, tells him where she is. Somebody's after her. He's weird. There's that tech noir again in the back of this. This club is so 80s. It's crazy. And a weird thing to think about. You see these people dancing, listen to this 80s music, and you think, if that person was 30, they're near 70 years old now in real life.
Yes.
That's crazy to think about.
They're well into their 70s.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, they're almost 70. Yeah, what?
Depending, if they're
a year and a half or a year and some change, they'll be 70. Yeah. They're old.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
weird.
I was talking to my wife. We just celebrated our 26th wedding anniversary. We went to Mexico. I was on a cruise ship. If you've never been on a cruise ship, go. I didn't want to go for years. It sounded really boring. It was one of the best trips I've ever taken. Anyway, we went down to Mexico for a week and all this stuff. And I told her, this is our 26th wedding anniversary. I was 18 when we got married. In 26 more years, I'll be 70.
Damn.
That's wild to think. So if we do what we just did, 26, another 26, I'll be a 70-year-old man. That is wild to think about life that way. That's why I always tell everyone, don't waste a day. Do not waste a day. Don't let people tell you can't do it or you shouldn't try or that. Back up on the soapbox. I argue with my fellow artists that it isn't talent. It's hard work that makes us good at drawing and painting. And a lot of people tell me, no, some people are just born with talent. And I found an airtight argument to prove me right. Stay with me here. We'll get back to Terminator. You got Frank Frazetta, Norman Rockwell, J.C. Leyendecker, all these great painters, and they just have talent, right? They can just do that, right? How come there are no painters that can paint that good before like the 1500s? Those genetics that just let those guys paint really good and draw really good without any hard work. It's just a talent. How come that didn't exist until the 1500s? For thousands of years of humanity, we can't find anyone doing that. It's skills and scientific principles of illustration and optics that we built on through the centuries. Sorry, okay, off the soapbox, but I know I'm right about this. Anyway, you can do it. That's my point. You can do whatever you want.
So, take that to the bank, bitch.
Take that to the bank, Senator. The blood
bank.
Just happened to be on the TV. That's all I'm saying.
That's in the finals for one-liner of the decade.
Right. John said, Miss LP, my wife robbed the cradle. Yes, I met my wife. I was walking in front of the high school, and this lady pulled up in a van and told me she lost her puppy, and I needed to help her find it. So I got in, and we've been married for 26 years.
Candy, I was the candy.
Happens. Yeah.
That was the candy, Gabe.
I mean, I'm here, right? I'm here. It's good enough.
How I met my wife too, man. I was like, "Get in the van, get in the van." You know?
Now.
Those are my opening lines.
Put this rag over your mouth.
Yep.
Good times, man.
Anyway.
You get them how you can. You get them how you can.
Listen,
Go
I
ahead,
didn't have a
Doug.
lot to work with. Okay, I wasn't Arnold Schwarzenegger rolling up on her naked and going, "Just getting bust." What's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh,
No
goodness.
judgment here.
So Tech
Don't
Noir.
judge.
Tech Noir is Tekken and Noirin. Everybody there is getting down. Everybody was kung fu fighting, is what I heard.
That's right.
Those kicks were
And then-
fast as lightning.
Right. And I like how Arnold just comes in, doesn't pay the admission, and this guy's all, hey, and then he just like breaks the guy's wrist.
Hey, he didn't pay. Hey, buddy. And he just just crushes everything in his hand. That he will never play the violin again.
Now, Mr. Schwarzenegger, again, I'm glad you're here to join us and give us a little behind the scenes. Do you pay to get into anywhere, or is this just what you always do?
I never pay to get in anywhere. Actually, when I go somewhere, I look for somebody who works there and I grab their hand and I just crush it and break everything.
All right.
Unprovoked.
Oh God.
I like to stay in character. But look, hold on, go back to that.
Sorry.
Go back. Look at that. Look at his face.
Right.
Dude, that shit, that's acting right there.
It is.
Like that guy whose hand he's crushing like doesn't even exist to him.
Right.
He is focused on I know Sarah Connor's here. I am going to find her. Nothing is going to stop me. Like that's just that's just awesome. The face, the way his hair is. I mean, yeah, just that fucking just not even an angry look, just a focused, deadly scowl on his face, man. That shit's great right there. And it periodically shows. I think this is the first thing where it shows his view, you know, with the red screen and you know, all the measurements of everything, all the calculations and stuff. It's crazy. And so far they've shown us in this movie, everybody who gets to this point and gets the red dot on them, that's it. You know, the first Sarah Connor, you know, Sliders lady who got slid in with the sandwiches and the celery and the peanut butter, and she got the red dot, and now Sarah Connor.
Yeah.
Red dot in a public place, packed nightclub.
After a night of romance, Slider would tell his girlfriend, "Hey, I'm gonna slide on out of here." You think he would give her some lines like that?
He probably was going to, but he fell asleep.
Oh.
I hate to interrupt this real quick, but I have to say this because it is a Sean tradition when we look at movies. Budget, $6.4 million. Thank you.
Damn.
Just need us to all know that.
So that some of them had to work for like percentage or something.
Right.
Or
Arnold got paid in baby oil. Did you know that?
or they were paid in, I'm going to cast you in 10 more movies.
Yeah, something like that. Because $6 million.
Sigourney, we ain't done yet.
Right.
Even in '84, $6 million, that ain't shit for a cast like that.
Nothing.
And this is after Conan.
Right.
You know, this is after that. So he's known.
Yeah. So this is a great scene. Arnold's going through the club. There's a little bit of slow-mo. You get Kyle Reese has been watching from the bar. He's kind of watching, I want to say Linda Hamilton. I'm sorry, Sarah Connor. Arnold pulls out the gun, and she just, you ever see on the Animal Channel, a crocodile eating a zebra, and the zebra freaks out. Crocodile rips his guts open, and then the zebra just stops. I've seen that, where the animal just like, okay, whatever, this is what this is. And the animal just resigns itself to its fate. She doesn't react here. She doesn't scream and run away and duck under the table. She's just like, okay. And Kyle Reese says, I say ye nay, base villain.
And you think Kyle walked past her because outside she ducks into this club because he's walking behind her and he keeps walking. So when you see him looking at her through the bar, you're like, oh shit, how'd he get in here? And he's been watching her the whole time. And then, that shotgun he had, he puts it to work.
Yeah. Yeah. He gives it to him. He gives it to Arnold, knocks him on his ass. And then he just pulls out the Uzi 9mm. Yeah.
Uzi
This
9mm.
crazy. Yeah. Cause poor people at the dance club, they get wasted.
Packed nightclubs, like a Friday, Saturday night, LA, 1984. And he's letting loose with a fully automatic weapon.
That's iconic right there. Tech Noir, the red lighting, the blue lights. Wow. Yeah, that's good. I got to screenshot that one. I like that one.
His size, the clothes, everything, the jacket, all that shit, everything works in that scene. And the gun, that's the 80s gun right there. If you do iconic 80s action movie weapons, you've got to put the Uzi in there.
It's the Uzi and the Mac 10, right? Those are the two guns of the 80s. right?
Yeah, I would say the Uzi, the Mac-10, the MP5, that was heavily used. But like I remember Delta Force, Chuck Norris was all about the Uzis and shit in that movie too. And I think that came out 86.
Right.
So yeah, Uzi was big in the 80s for sure. And yeah, this is a great shot right here.
No,
Yeah, the
it's
Uzi
not
and the
like
Mac-10 were the only guns I ever drew when I was a kid. When I was drawing like action comics and things like that. I think the first comic I did, the one of the characters I had who was sort of like my Punisher version, of course, because that great Mike Zeck cover with Punisher holding that Uzi is a beautiful gun to draw. And then there was this role playing game that had all of this really cool artwork for it, at least as I remembered it, called Shadowrun. And one of the characters had like, do you remember that? He had like these 3 claws on one hand and then a Mac-10 on the other hand, and it was like,
hell yeah,
dude, that's what you want to draw when you're a kid, man. Make it happen.
Yeah, amazing. So we get this great scene here in the Tech Noir Club, in the Tech Noir movie, and they got a real macho shootout here. But Michael Biehn, he doesn't back down. He keeps giving it to him. Arnold gets up and he gets knocked down again. He blasts him out the effing window of this building. Jeez.
And it's like it's almost like Michael Biehn knows that he has to keep laying on him with that shotgun. He can't give him because he knows he's going to get up. But you got to try to put him down and give yourself, a few seconds to get her and get the fuck out of there before he, sits up. And there you go with the classic, the iconic red and all the calculations there in the corner. And
dude, it's so good.
Man, I've never even read what that is, but you just know what it is. It's distance and measurements and heights and speeds and all the shit he's calculating to catch these fools. And man, it's not all, they don't use it all the time. We're a good chunk into the movie here, and this is like the first time you see it. So it's not overused, even after it's already been shown. But you were waiting for these scenes. You were waiting for it to go to his view, throughout the movie. Great.
Yeah, it's really cool. I'm trying to find something really quick for you. That's a very funny thing about that cover there. It's a Terminator cover by Alex Ross. He's a comic book artist who he's one of the greats, all-time legendary comic artists. I got a small version of it here. Let's see if we can find it. Okay, here it is. So he worked for Now Comics, and he did some painted covers, and he's gone on to do tons of gorgeous award-winning work for Marvel and DC. But the legend in our business is now. Do you know this story, Sean?
I don't know if I know the story. I just know that was his first, big work.
Okay, yeah, this isn't like in the late 80s. This is a long time ago. The guy's still working. He's a legend. But if you look closely, can you see my mouse cursor moving?
Yeah.
Right here it says Now Comics blows.
Awesome.
Because the story was they were late on their payment to him. They hadn't paid him for some of these covers. I don't know if any of this is true, but that's what another comic book pro told me. But it says it right there. Now Comics blows. If you look right there, NOWCMIX BLOZ. So that's an old one from Alex Ross in the red readout there. Bravo, Alex.
Yeah, man.
I may have hidden a thing or two in some of the comics I've worked on.
Dude, let me say this. Let me see if I can find this. This
cool.
I was just talking about. If people want to know what an 80s drawing was to a kid, let me see if I can share this. This right here sums it up, man. This is I don't know. The gun is sort of sci-fi, but let me see if I can do this. Present. Share screen. I'm moving at the speed of stop here. Here you go. But this pretty much sums up what I saw as a kid and went, that's what I want to draw. That's in a nutshell.
That's tight.
Cyborg eyes, 2 hand grenades, a pistol the size of a Cadillac, and then, of course, an automatic weapon. And it's just, come on, man. Claws. That was what it was for me.
Me and my brother
that's
love
fucking nice.
This is a role-playing game like Dungeons and Dragons called Shadowrun. It's like cyberpunk, dark future, but they incorporated elves and orcs in it. Like humans mutated into elves and orcs, and then regular humans and whatever. And and you could like plug your head into the Matrix. Like they were called Deckers, I think, were that character. And I was obsessed with it. I never played it, but I would read the source book and look at the art.
Yep.
I never played role-playing games, but I love role-playing games for their art and their lore. Like I have
that's what it was.
Manuals and art books. I don't play them, but I really love them. So
that's all it was for me.
And that gun, I could just imagine like a still pic or a picture of the muzzle flash coming off of that thing, like just that fire.
Dude, that's what it is.
Coming out of the barrel. That would be fucking sick.
Right. Decent version. This is artwork from Shadowrun. It actually is.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Anyway,
Beautiful stuff.
back to the show. So yeah, if you love Terminator and that cyberpunk thing, Shadowrun is a role-playing game that captured that from the 80s and early 90s. Yeah, very cool
Right
stuff.
on.
They made a terrible Super Nintendo game that isn't fun. So yeah. But anyway, so the Terminator's chasing them. And just like in Predator, we had the thermovision. Now we have this red, I don't know, info vision. He has all his information and his reticle for shooting. And it's a really nice touch visually. So yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
And the sound too. The sound of the guns going off is almost muzzled in a kind of way. It kind of shows that later on in the movie. But yeah, that red visual there is awesome.
Right. So they jump in a car. They're getting out. They're flying through this alley. Everything's blowing up. He jumps on the hood of the car, punches through the window, grabs her shirt.
Like that was a real, earlier in the movie, he steals a car, the car that he drove over to the first Sarah Connor's house and ran over the toy. He punches through that window, and that was a real car window. You could tell by the way it shattered. I don't know, I'm sure they had it set up to where something, maybe shattered it a second before his fist went through it or something like that. But that was a real car window. He gets in, slams the door, and glass gets on his shoulder, and he doesn't even give a shit. He just rips the steering column off, hot wires the thing, and takes off with like glass on him. That was a great one. And in this scene right here, that's a real windshield. You could tell the way it doesn't shatter like when they do that candy glass shit. By the way, like windshields don't shatter. There's that layer of plastic in between them. And this looked like, I don't know how they did it, but he looked like he punched through a real windshield.
Right.
The practical effects were great in this movie.
Now, I got a question about this. So after that scene at the club and all that, they're going to get in a bit of a car chase here. Arnold suddenly looks different. He doesn't have eyebrows.
That's right. Burned him off.
I noticed that too.
There's
so
fire.
Burned him off?
Oh, so they got burned off.
I think I got the frame, but yeah, right there. He blows something up.
Oh, okay.
And they had actually had, if you look at Arnold throughout this movie, guys, they had put a particular type of makeup on him that made his skin slightly unreal, which is funny considering it's supposed to be flesh, but it was intentional. So when he comes out of the fire and his eyebrows are burned off, it's like, this is the descent into, I'm losing my ability to pass for human a little bit more each time. And it was so creepy to see him without eyebrows. Holy cow,
I saw
man.
this. I'm like, what in the why?
Yeah, that shit was weird.
Yeah.
But he gets gets that cop's vehicle. The cop pulls over because he's on that car after they blow him up, and he jumps on the car and punches through the windshield. They take off, and when they turn, they hit a car. The force, flings Arnold off of the car, and he lands on the sidewalk. A cop pulls up. He hears the cop talking on the radio. So then it also tells you he's always listening and scanning and recording shit, because the cop's talking on the radio when he pulls up. He kills the cop and takes his car, and right here, he's talking to dispatch in that cop's voice. So now he's using the police car and its resources like dispatch and shit, and listening to the scanner to find out where these fuckers are. But he was
technology to imitate voices. Imagine if such a thing was possible in the future.
That shit was crazy. It's used a couple times in this movie. That shit's awesome. And I think they use it even better in Terminator 2, but that's a day.
Right. So they pull into a parking structure to lay low, to hide. She's trying to escape. And this is the part where he tells her who he is and where he's from, right? Mm-hmm. He starts telling her his crazy story about being from the future and stuff. I believe it's right here. And,
he gives her a little bit. And
he gives her a little that thing is after you and blah blah blah. And he's like, well, can you kill it? And he's like, well, not with these weapons,
And that's when he tells her the famous line, it can't be bargained with, it can't be reasoned with. It doesn't feel pity or remorse or fear, and will not stop it won't stop ever until you are dead.
Right.
Like she's starting
she bites
to get
his
it.
hand.
Yeah.
Man, that's
he doesn't feel pain, but I do.
Yeah, it says, the Terminators don't feel pain, or cyborgs don't feel pain, but I do. And it's like, and what his reaction to her biting his hand, which is like minor annoyance, and she's got blood in her mouth.
Yeah, she bit the shit out of him.
Shows how tough he is, and it works perfectly because that same hand that she bit him on, they go to another shot, was when she sees his barcode, almost concentration camp bar signature on his arm, and it's the same one she bit. Right. It's a rough thing. Hang on one second. I'll be back, guys. Keep going.
And it's showing, his restraint. because
Right.
he didn't like fucking grab her or yank his hand away. It was like, hey, that hurts. Stop. And you're
Yeah,
right, it's showing his toughness.
I think again, when you're avoiding woke, because woke you're just slamming identity politics in and you break the story, as we've talked about on the show before. And here they establish these characters, the three of them: relentless killer, desperate hero, and then like kind of sweet naive woman. And you see it echoed over and over. But she's slowly having her character arc where she's just like, oh, she's learning what reality is, and now she's gonna have to make a choice. She's going to continue to be like the waitress letting kids put ice cream in her pockets, or she's going to learn to be a badass. You know what I mean? So it's fun to watch how the challenges are starting to change her. And Kyle's opening up a little bit. He's desperate. He's not too emotional or anything. He's just like mission. He's like a reverse of the Terminator, who's also just on a mission and emotionless. But Kyle's on the good side of it. So a little bit of his feelings and stuff are coming out. And I just think it's excellent the way they pull this stuff off here. So they're hiding out in the garage. The cops are around. Arnold's around too. He found the garage.
Look at that. Look at that face.
Right.
Like he's just scanning and looking for them. There's no emotion inside of him. There's only the mission, and he will kill anything that gets in his way. I mean, it's just that's a great shot right there. And then that last pick, to echo what you're saying, I think they were both kind of starting to switch roles. She's getting tougher. He's getting a little bit, not softer, but he's being more vulnerable.
Yeah,
and she's starting to realize this shit is real. So I better pick a side, toughen the fuck up.
Let's see. Oh, let's see this. Simply Green says, when you talked about the miracle of birth earlier, she is the mother of the Savior. She has an important role that no man can play. Absolutely. I agree with that. Like I said, when you witness the birth of a child, I've seen 3 live births, and it's really, you can't wrap your head around it. Like that really just happened in front of me. You see all these people, adults walking around, you hold a baby that weighs 6, 7, 8 pounds, and you're like, how did we all come from being this tiny little thing? We take so much for granted, so much for granted. Were you there when your children were born? Like, were you in the room, or were you one of those guys that like, because I was there.
I was there. Okay.
Because some guys, I don't want to be mean, but I'm going to be a little mean. Some guys, they can't handle it. They don't want to be there. And I'm like, bro, really?
No,
like,
man.
Hey, you were there when you put it in.
Yeah, you got to see it come at it.
Yeah.
No, it was good. I'm glad I was there. It was a great experience.
Yep, I was in there to watch a C-section watch 2 of my children taken out at the same time. That'll change it. There's a crowded room full of people, and you had your 2 things because they were a high risk. All twins pregnancies are considered high risk. So, and they told me I couldn't be in there with her when she got the anesthesia, and so I'm sitting out there in the weight room, and I hear her. She got a little panicked. I heard her screaming, "Bring me my husband! Bring me my husband!" And this med student comes out and he goes, "Hey man, are you the nervous type?" And I was like, "Nah." He's like, "Because your wife would really like you to be in there." I was like, "All right, let's do this. I told y'all. Don't separate us." Good luck.
The wives can get a little grumpy with you, a little short with you while they are going through labor. But to me, it's all good. It's it's completely understandable. Hey, better you than me, Toots.
Yeah, the doctors during our first child's birth, my daughter, they were talking about iPhones the whole time. So I was like, this must be going great because they're just talking about, just regular shit. So I'm like, cool. They were talking about that the whole time. Everything went smooth. It was great, man. It really was.
Yep. So sneaking around this parking structure, he finds them, and they do a shotgun battle in the parking lot.
Again, no regard for property or anybody who's around.
No,
I'm here to kill these 2 and let the buckshots or the slugs go where they may. Right. Yeah, they just start busting at each other, driving down the street. Look at the holes that shotguns are. So those are slugs.
Right.
Look at the holes, those things punching in the side of that vehicle. And in reality, they would both be dead because those 2 in the front door. I mean, that one looks like it's going through her side, and probably his too. And those slugs, man, they go through vehicles like they're soda cans. So
is that a Lincoln? Is that a Lincoln Continental?
It might be a Cadillac.
Is it a Cadillac?
Is it a Lincoln? It's either a Continental. Yeah, it's a Lincoln.
Yeah,
So, yeah, that's a
my
Continental.
grandma had a white Lincoln Continental with that white leather back top,
That's a boat.
and it had a
Yeah,
red
that-
interior. I remember.
Oh, yeah,
riding
that's
that.
clean.
Yeah.
That's clean.
I got a funny story about riding around my grandma. I love my grandma, Grandma Minnie. That's where my daughter got her name, Minnie. And my grandparents had a Mexican restaurant and tortilla factory for 50 years after World War II. So I was always there as a little kid. And I was in the Royal Rangers, which is just the Boy Scouts with the Assembly of God Church when I was in first grade. And it was kind of a small group. So they would combine like the elementary and middle schoolers like in one group of Royal Rangers. And we watched a movie of these two guys drinking beer and driving dune buggies in the desert. And it was like a PSA for us to watch as kids, like, hey, don't be drinking and driving. And in this video, they're in the desert drinking and having fun driving the dune buggy. And because they're drinking, they crash their dune buggy and the wheel breaks. They're stuck in the desert and they die from heat exposure. And they paint these two guys blue. I'm 6 years old watching these guys get stranded in the wilderness and die in the sun. And they paint them blue, all gruesome. I'm 6. I'm terrified watching this movie. So the next day, my grandma's going to go up to Cheyenne, about an hour north of Greeley, Colorado. We're going to Cheyenne, Wyoming. It's a long drive. And I'm thinking about these dead guys. And we're in the Lincoln Continental driving up Highway 85. And I keep asking my grandma, do you think we have enough gas to get there? And she's like, oh, yes, honey, don't worry. And I just keep white knuckling it as a 6-year-old. I just keep looking at the E and the F, you know. And I just keep imagining me and my grandma all blue and dead on the side of the highway.
She'd look over at you. Why so blue, sweetheart? No.
if it was a Twilight Zone, my grandma would have pulled out a beer and cracked it and started drinking it on June.
Oh, man.
Grandma, how's that gas gauge looking over there?
Right. So the moral of the story is, don't let a 6-year-old watch a film like that. It was terrible.
Yeah, and don't run out of gas in the desert because you're going to die and turn blue.
Ugh, it was awful. Anyway, awesome car chase here. Awesome gun battle.
Yeah, and the score too. The score when these chase scenes and stuff. It's great. And there's a series of boats. You know, them big ass long cars in here. The first one that he steals when they're chasing him through downtown is a boat. They got a new boat out of that parking garage. And right here, the cops, they come to a dead end. The Terminator crashes. He's in the patrol car that he stole. He crashes head on with the wall. They stop, and he's about to get out and blast it out with the police. He's like, this is all he knows is war. I mean, he grew up in war. All he knows is battle. So he's about to get out with that shotgun and shoot it out with the cops. But she tells him, no, don't. She tells him like 3 or 4 times, don't. She's like, they'll kill you. Right. This ain't where you're from. If you get out there with that shotgun, they're gonna put all kinds of holes in your ass. So these
are LA City cops. You don't want to do
you don't want to do this. They will shoot your ass, guaranteed. So he listens, and they're both taken into custody. And this is showing the softer side of Mr. Paul Winfield. And there's Henriksen in the back there. I'm not sure what he's looking at. And then the psychiatrist. And this guy, he's with us. He's with us through at least the third Terminator, I think, but he gets a little bit of a bigger role in the second one. But it's great. Yeah, this scene is great. And then they start talking to Kyle Reese, and he's telling the truth, the only story he knows. What happened and how he grew up and what's going to happen and shit. But of course, to their 1984 ears, that sounds like some crazy shit. And this dude's about to get locked up somewhere where the walls are padded.
Right. Yeah. So our heroes are at the police station where they ostensibly they should be safe, but we'll see. We go to I think this is one of those hotels where you pay hourly rates.
Yeah, it looks like it. And, looks like you don't want to run a black light in there.
Right. Yeah. So when you were in this hotel, Mr. Terminator, and you used your thermovision, what did you see on the walls?
Well, is this PG-13 or can I get rated R for a second? Because what I saw in there was a lot of
DNA,
a lot of humanity everywhere. It was disgusting. I wish I had a different thermal.
Is that why you ripped your eye out, because of what you saw?
It wasn't because of the accident that I got into and I ran into the wall. It was because all of the glowing life, I guess we can call it, everywhere in here.
Oh goodness. All right.
Yeah. Just see red rum written over and over again.
Yeah. Oh, come on. All types
get
of
out.
fluids. There were fluids everywhere.
Can we say, again, this is a movie that costs $6 million.
Damn.
Right.
So this is independent cinema. Like, this is, for all intents and purposes today, this is independent cinema. Now, think about the technology we have, like Blender and all of the software we have that's free. It's open source. And what you can do, but then look at this practical effect where he's repairing his arm.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that his arm is destroyed, it's that it's been bent, it's been damaged, and he is trying to straighten it out, and he's testing his fingers, a lot like what you see Luke Skywalker do in Empire Strikes Back. But he's doing this on a shoestring. This isn't the sequel to Star Wars that he's working on. This is a $6 million movie. It's incredible. Like, a little bit of special effects can go a long way with good story.
I remember seeing this at cousin Tim and John's house. I was not allowed to watch these things, but at their house I saw this. I remember thinking this scene was so cool. And I remember just going around like looking at my own forearm, like making the muscles in it move, and like, oh wow. So that's kind of what's in there for humans. Like, not the same thing, but a similar kind of system, you know. So I thought it was fascinating.
And that's super crazy that the budget of this movie was $6 million, because you fast forward 13 years and Arnold is getting $1 million a minute for that Batman movie that he did.
Oh my god.
He was in the movie for 25 minutes and got $25 million.
Why did the dinosaurs go extinct?
Because of the Ice Age. Oh, that was so terrible. Sing.
Oh, it hurts.
Sorry always says good night. Everyone got to be up early for tomorrow. Okay.
Hey,
Catch
thanks
us on
for
the
hanging
replay,
out.
buddy.
Yep.
Thank you for being here. Have a
Peace.
good night, buddy.
Sleep tight.
Yeah.
Don't let the bed bugs bite.
I never saw the Arnold George Clooney.
Oh,
Batman.
come
I knew
on.
not to see that. I knew not to see
I mean, don't do it to yourself.
that. Yeah.
Don't do it. Destroy your soul, man.
But is it Bosworthian? Would it be worth seeing for that factor? Where this is so bad?
I think it's Bosworthian, just with a much bigger budget you see it reflected on screen, but it's just horse shit.
It looks atrocious. It looks so bad.
It is.
George
Clooney.
Don't.
George Clooney Batman. Yeah, it's as bad as you think it is.
Yeah. No,
And
I know.
probably
George
worse.
Clooney just he doesn't say hero to me.
There's a line in the movie that goes, "Hey, Mr. Freeze, I'm Batman."
No, he
Sorry.
doesn't.
Yeah, he does.
Really?
Yes. That's not how I
It's
want
hell.
Batman talking to the villains.
I'm surprised he
It's hell
didn't.
on
Surprised he didn't snap after he said it. Hey, Mr. Freeze, I'm Batman.
Hey, honey. Ooh, you're looking chilly, honey. I'm Batman.
Your headlights are on.
Those are
So
my
anyway,
headlights.
the therapist here, who will continue in other movies, he's talking to Kyle Reese here about the future and robots and time travel and all this stuff, and they're asking him, why did he have to come back naked? And only organic matter can get through. But then they're like, well, then how did the Terminator come through? He's a robot. They're like, well, that's why they cover them in the organic flesh, I guess, or that's one of the other reasons. I don't know. We get a little explaining here. Now, this isn't the greatest, but given the $6 million budget, it ain't bad.
1984.
It's 1984. I appreciate the effort. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. The robotics and the hair and makeup. I mean, his hair looks real. I mean, obviously you can tell.
I think you were better, Jericho. You're fake.
I think mine's the best. I think my wife looked at it and I said, "Babe, do you want to see what we did for tonight?" She looked at it and she goes, "Your neck needs to be fatter." And I went,
how dare you?
"Listen, lady, what?"
I'll be drafting the papers in the morning.
What's going
Exactly
on with me?
right.
In this picture? Look how sweaty my chest is there. Look at that sheen coming off the middle there. I think I made this like 2 years ago, this picture of me as a Terminator, and I think I had been lifting weights in the garage where I took this picture. So I think I was that's real sweat, baby. You get real sweat with it when it's me. So yeah.
Well, and
Sweat's
this
real.
This is the thing.
Sweat is always real.
The thing about the if we go back to the Arnold animatronic puppet, right? Here's another thing that people miss when they're going for the CG perfection. That's terrifying.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
That is not the uncanny valley of CG where you see it and you go, well, obviously that's not real. It looks kind of stupid. This is the just off of reality that you look at and you go, oh man, that's like a horror movie monster. Like, and that's what I mean. It's creepy. Even the stop motion they do later on for the Terminator, once the skin is gone, the way it moves is this awful, kind of creepy way, and I just love that stuff, man. It's great stuff.
And the robotics here. I mean,
the iris of the eye does make
that
it
shit's
and it opens and the aperture opens and closes. And Arnold's real eye is behind this. It's weird. He's wearing a mask of his own face, basically. You know what I mean? Like, and but that eye in there is actually Arnold's eye, I believe, because it does move around. So yeah.
And this is 1984 too.
Right. And then he starts. Oh no! We get some more of the interview from the therapist and all that stuff.
They get a good laugh out of it. The guy who shouldn't be laughing at all, you would think in that entire room of people, the psychiatrist, he's fucking cracking up.
Yeah. Gee, yeah. What about the doctor-patient privileges? Oh, look at this loon that I'm counseling, guys.
HIPAA.
This guy's crackers over here.
HIPAA.
It's ridiculous, man.
He's talking all kinds of shit in front of his girl.
Right.
That's what he came in with. I mean,
now,
she thinks he's crazy and stuff, but what
I miss, and I might go to it because I've had a beard for like 6-7 years. One thing about the 80s I miss, a fucking strong mustache.
Dang.
Yeah.
A fucking Tom Selleck.
That thing's tight. That's high and tight.
That's a good mustache.
That's a straight line on the bottom. That's military grade right there.
Right. Yeah.
You could pass an inspection with that mustache.
But you got to see this real quick. With my, this is a thing, not all Mexicans, but a decent amount I've noticed. People with Hispanic heritage. No hair right there. None. Okay. Right there. I don't shave that. That's just how that is. There's a famous Mexican comedian called Cantinflas, and he had two mustaches, basically like me. So I can't do the full Magnum PI unless I pay money for a transplant. They'll transplant 20 hairs right there. Chuck, you've got a good one. Let's look at this thing. You got to push.
Yeah, that's formidable.
That's a serious fucking mustache.
Yeah,
have you ever thought of just having a mustache?
No, I mean, divorce seems like it's an intense road to go down. Right at this moment.
Oh, you've already.
I mean, let me tell you this. Here's how I end up shaving mustaches like this. I'm going to be honest with you folks because this is a place of honesty. This is a safe space. The way my wife knows I shave a mustache is if she says to me, please don't ever shave a mustache.
Oh.
That is basically like asking me to do it. It's just how
You're almost forcing me.
Yeah, I'm like, don't, you forced my hand. Here we are.
Right. So basically they show her the tape that Kyle Reese is Looney Tunes is what they say. And, that killer's out there killing Sarah Connors. But the chief tells her, don't worry, there's 50 cops in this building. You're safe. Get some sleep. He gets his jacket off and puts it on her. This is a good guy.
Nice
he
guy.
really is dedicated, cares about his job. And on a personal level, he's treating this lady in a way he doesn't have to. He can tell people, take care of this broad, whatever, she's crying or something.
Or take her home or whatever. Yeah, get her out of here.
Yeah. But he wants this to be right. And he's like pride in his job, and in his city of like, hey, this lunatic isn't going to go around and do this. We're going to find this guy. We're going to nail this bastard. So I like the vibe this guy gives off. Very masculine, very fatherly, very macho. I like it.
Uh-oh.
Another kind of. Yeah.
Here's where it comes from. The famous line, I'll be back. He comes to the police station because he's tracking him. And he asks if Sarah Connors here. And the man behind the desk tells him, nah, man, she's testifying right now. She's busy. You can wait around. There's a seat over there. Then Arnold looks all around this waiting room, doing some measurements in his head.
Yep.
And he tells the guy,
structural integrity.
I'll be back. And then goes outside. And then he comes back inside. But when he comes back inside, one little thing is different.
He's not walking.
He's not walking when he comes inside. He's riding in a vehicle.
Yes, he's right through the front door and into that dude's body cavity. He drives him. And you see headlights there, but then there's no headlights on when he comes in. But yeah, he smashes his body up against the wall. He gets out, and then this is when one of the very good scores in this movie. It's almost like an upbeat, fast-paced, like just robotic, futuristic sounding music that they play when he gets to shooting up this police station. But he goes, may I speak to Sarah Connor? I was told she was going to be here. And the guy's like, "Oh, she's in the back, having a seat or whatever." And then he does the thing. He looks around. He says, "I'll be back." And then
Right. I got it.
Boom.
I made a little recording of it today because it's too good not to share. I don't know if they'll want to take some ad money from me for this, but I don't care, guys. That's what you get from me. So everyone gather around and listen, because I sped up a little bit of it so it wouldn't be too long.
Where is she? Look, it may take a while. I want to wait. There's a bench over there.
I'll be back.
I'll be back. He meant
I
it.
like this guy doing his work here. I sped this part up a little bit.
Boom. Dude, the savagery.
And
Golly.
this goes back to the it'll take 15 days.
Right.
He doesn't wait. He doesn't stop. He doesn't have a pause button. He thinks things out legit. Like, he looks past the place, what he's got to do, looks at the structural integrity, and you're like, oh, no.
Right.
Not this man.
What do
Look
you
at
think
that
this guy was
mustache.
thinking? Yeah, that's
Thinking, not my
weird.
mustache. Not my mustache.
You think a mustache that gnarly would have protected him from the impact of that car?
I think
No,
it
the mustache
did,
lived. The
Yeah,
mustache
yeah,
was
he-
at the funeral. You know?
Yeah,
The
he
mustache
did.
was at the funeral. Like, one tear coming down the mustache. It was off.
Yeah, I
But
thought
somehow-
it was in poor taste because his widow married the mustache. I thought that was
It's
like,
true.
dude, that's weird.
Yeah.
The
No.
mustache somehow got stronger after he died. So go figure.
Yep.
So anyway, he said he'd be back, and he wasn't lying.
He meant that shit.
Right.
Like immediately, I'll be right back. He should have said, "I'll be
Right.
right back," because he was
So-
there.
So earlier I was talking about, is he scary? And I think I gotta actually declare in reverse. He's scary, the Terminator, now that I think about it. Because he kills that guy at the front desk, and he just starts going up the stairs and all through the halls, and he just starts laying waste to this place. Waste in every
Terrifying.
cop in the damn city. You know, it's it's lighting him up like it's Christmas. He's you've been a good boy. It's free bullets. He's handing out free bullets for Christmas, everyone.
Sorry, but you've all been voted naughty.
No.
Dude, he just started taking him out. I mean, that cop was sitting at his desk. It doesn't matter. He knows
Right.
police have guns on him. And he just starts, machine gun, shotgun, machine gun. He mixes it up.
That's one thing
You
this
know?
movie doesn't have as much as Commando. Let's see. D Subversion says almost as good as Commando one-liners. Yeah, it would be funny like if he came into this guy's office, this guy's working, and he shoots himself. Tell your wife you're going to be late. You know, just
Yeah.
stuff like that.
You're working late, burning the midnight oil, something like that. But that would show like humor, or
Right.
wit, and he doesn't have that. He's just what's
Killing
the fastest
machine.
way to kill all these people? Hit the lights, and it was crazy, just going up and down. One guy shoots, and the guy runs like in the room on the other side of a wall, and he shoots right through the wall, still hits the guy and shit. And that next scene where he's kneeing him in the stomach, I didn't know that if you knee somebody in the stomach, that'll render them unconscious, because he pushes him up against the wall, knees him in the stomach, and the guy is unconscious on the floor. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna remember that.
He must have got him in the liver perfectly with an atomic knee.
Yeah. If you do hit it hard enough, you will pass out long enough to have something taken off of your body.
He fell on the ground. They had to remove the audio. It was like,
Stop, I can't breathe.
Oh, we gotta find that lady. Hold on, give me a second.
Oh,
That
God.
shit.
Oh.
That's what pain sounds like.
Uh,
That's what
I
no
got it.
oxygen sounds like.
now I hope this plays sound right.
It's so beautiful.
I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Stop.
Can you hear it?
Yeah. Damn. She's trying to be cute. She tells her stop, and then she starts cheating.
Oh.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Arnie's like, who's calling me?
It's Arnold's mating call.
Is that what the maid did when she called you?
The maid made that sound.
She knows what happens when you make that sound. I can't help it.
Just something comes over you, huh?
Something comes over me, and it comes out of me.
Now, why was the maid making that sound in the first place?
I don't know. She was doing what cleaning, and she starts singing. She's like, oh, 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 oh. And I was like, oh, I can't resist it. Come here.
So I feel like it's a call and then repeat, kind of like in nature, where the one bird makes a call and the other. Because you're like, la, la, and she's like, oh, oh, oh. Like, is that like a little romantic?
Yeah, I have to try to locate her.
Okay,
let's find her.
Okay, so if I went like, oh, 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 how would you answer me?
Well, it's gross when you do it. Please don't ever do
oh. That's the Arnie maiden call.
Disgusting.
Oh, God.
Disgusting.
All right, here, listen. I'll turn my camera off. You can just pretend I'm her.
No. Already know it's you. That's disgusting. She didn't sound like that.
No, it's me, the maid.
Housekeeping.
It's me. Estoy la maid.
It's not working.
I'm about to go Chris Farley.
You can't say I didn't try.
Oh, my God.
Anyway, he gives this guy the atomic knee right in the liver, sends him to
right in a liver shot, unconscious. Right. Give me your keys. Yeah.
Right. Oh, and I love this. Another classic trope from horror movies. They borrow a little bit from deep horror, where she's pinned down, hiding in the quiet. Is the monster going to get her? Oh, no. Someone's at the door. They're coming through. But it wasn't the Terminator. It was, we don't have a photo of it. It was Michael Biehn. It was Kyle Reese.
Yeah,
he comes through and he gets her out of the room. But you think it's the Terminator coming through the door there with the light.
You just see the silhouette on the other side of the door, the glass door. You just see the silhouette.
We
and
have
breaks
that
the window.
Oh, we do. Oh,
yeah, they're just cutting in between. Like it shows the door, and then another door opens, and you see it's not her.
Right.
And so you just keep thinking, oh, I mean, dude, look at that shot, guys.
That's great.
I mean, this is what. Look at that. That's what comics should be, man. That's what movies should be, for God's sake.
Yeah, and they keep shooting him from underneath, like looking up at him.
Right.
Yeah, pretty much everybody, but they're always looking up, make him look more menacing and huge. And and that's the thing, Sean. Like you said, this is what all of them should be, and it's so stupid because the groundwork has already been laid. They already gave you the template. Give us these things. Give it some heart. Give it some character. Give it some, some integrity, some morals. Justify what's happening here. Don't make everything. Everybody making these snarky, stupid comments. Some one-liners.
These guys.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll
say, yeah.
Go ahead, Sean.
No, go to the next shot here, though. This is something that bothers me. I know that the one after this one, because you'll know what I'm talking about, okay? Because Clifton Duncan was talking about this. I was listening to his podcast once when he had Razor Fist on, and he was talking about different things, and he said they keep casting all of these British actors in the States to play every single role, and we have so many amazing classically trained actors who they should be putting on screen from the States. And the idea that actors like this gentleman here, we're talking about, was in Wrath of Khan in a small part and had one of the most poetic parts in that movie. Just an incredible actor. People like him, people like Lance Henriksen, who you've already talked about. All of these people who were the great side characters, of these films, they don't put them in movies. I know they're out there. This is a country of 350 million people. You're telling me we don't have great actors out there like this? But look at him. He's a father figure. We know he's outclassed because Kyle Reese is our big main star, and we know he's outclassed. But that's not what he's about. This character is everything. And we have to start looking for these actors are out there. We have to start finding these people and casting them in movies. This is quality right here.
We just need woke to keep losing some more money and fix Hollywood, hopefully. Now, Mr. Schwarzenegger, I had heard that this upshot, these strong upshots, that you had to argue with the director to get these. Why? How did you convince them that they had to do these upshots, making you so powerful looking? How did you win them over on that?
I basically told him if he wanted me to be in the movie, you have to shoot it the way I want it shot. I want to look huge. I want to look big. I want to look down on all of you, down to here. I said, I want all of you in the scene looking up at me, revering me. And so I can look down at you, down to here.
That's what I heard.
I have to tell you, I imagine that Arnold Schwarzenegger has a statue of himself looking up at a bigger statue of himself. Yeah. I'm just kidding.
And then that's looking up at a giant statue of itself.
Yeah. Down there.
Down there.
Oh my God.
Right. So, adios, Captain. You served your town well. It ain't your fault, man. You tried to save LA. Dude, nobody could save LA. It sucks. He looks like a hero, though.
He does.
Yeah.
And his right hand, Heinrichsen.
He
comes
pissed.
Oh,
you son of a bitch.
This is the thing. I got to it too soon. So it's a good horror movie trope. You think it's the Terminator coming through the door. It's a great fake out. It's Kyle Reese. He says, I'm Luke Skywalker, and I'm here to save you. You know what I mean? Yep. So, yeah.
Come on, let me save you and your tits.
Right. And Heinrichsen does get blasted right after the chief, too.
Yeah, he walks right out in the hallway and gets blasted, too.
Right.
Yeah.
But, they didn't care. Friend, he had, that was his, come on, that was his boy. And then he hop in a Pinto.
Like, if you don't think working for that guy makes you want to avenge him, then you don't need to be a part of any world I live in, man.
Yeah.
Like, Lance Henriksen is always, it's like Batman and Robin. That is his Robin, for God's sake. He's like, you just shot Batman. That's it. Done.
That's it. I can't contain myself.
So this is a Ford Pinto, the car that famously would explode if it got rear-ended or something like that? Or?
Yeah, the gas tanks were very susceptible to explosions, which isn't good, especially when you have, your youngins in the back.
I feel like that's a very, very bad design flaw. I've been in cars where the cup holders were in the wrong spot or the radio was weird, and I feel like an exploding gas tank is a non-starter,
I feel like they were standing there at the end of the assembly line after all the Pintos were made, and then somebody was standing there with like a handful of brackets for the gas tank. And they were like, wait, if you have the brackets.
Oh.
Yeah.
That made it into the movie Top Secret.
Oh,
is absolutely like the combustibility of the Pinto made it into Top Secret. I still cannot believe that. That's how bad it was.
That's funny. Here's my 6-year-old nightmare riding with my grandma to Cheyenne.
That's for you.
Granny, do you think we have enough gas to get to
Cheyenne?
She's like, just have blue, a beer, Grandma. Relax.
I'm turning blue.
Yeah.
And that's his. Like he doesn't even think. He's just driving. Like he didn't think about a gas station or looking at the gas gauge. He's just driving until they can't drive anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. He was one of my favorite. I don't play video games because I don't have time, and I'm a grown up. But
True.
Captain Tor, you're right. He is played General Shepard in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. I remember that game. It was really fun.
Yep.
Long time ago.
Great actor.
John. Yeah, you missed it. We reviewed Stone Cold on this channel like 2 months ago. What a colossal piece of crap, but what a fun piece of crap to watch.
Oh man, that was
a playlist for this channel. There's a playlist of all these shows we do with Jonathan, Jericho, and me. So check it out. Stone Cold is a masterpiece of garbage. A masterpiece.
Yeah. That's the most fun I've had with a piece of crap in a long time. What?
Seriously.
Right. So the Pinto, thankfully, is out of gas, so it won't.
Thank God.
Safe. Now you're safe.
I might feel silly telling you guys this. Maybe it's silly. Maybe you knew this, and I'm the only one that didn't know. I didn't realize the Pinto was named not after beans, because I thought, why in the hell would you name a car after pinto beans? I'm like, oh yeah, there's a horse breed, a pinto.
You can also
like a Mustang and a Pinto.
Yeah, but, you can also tell by the Pinto on the vehicle, the emblem.
Right, but for
it's not a pile
I think
beans.
it was just this year that I do a lot of thinking about the Ford Pinto, a lot. Yeah. But I just realized this year that it was the horse they were talking about. I wonder why you would name a car after a bean my whole life.
Do I want to live in a world where the emblem on that car instead of a horse was a pile of beans? Yes.
Be kind of cool. I don't know.
I would
Let's think about this for a minute, guys.
But unfortunately, they went with the horse.
Yeah, it looks like a pile of beans. It is a hideous car. A hideous car.
Horrible. But that's what the gas crunch will get you.
Yeah,
little tiny, weird-looking piece of shit.
The slogan was "Drive it, see if I care." That's what the slogan was actually.
I thought the slogan was "I'm a piece of shit."
Tailgate at your own risk.
Kill me.
So they ditched the Pinto, they push it down a hill, which I know it's a nerdy thing to think like that wouldn't actually happen. But I was like, if it was Los Angeles today and they pushed that Pinto down into a ravine, they'd kill like 8 homeless people that lived in the ravine, dude. Like you couldn't do that nowadays.
Not to mention, if somebody's house is on that hill and a Pinto just comes through the roof, that's not good.
D Subversion says the Pinto has explosive power. Only from Ford.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
So they find some little culvert or something underneath a bridge to sleep in because they're exhausted and they're on the run from this maniac Terminator. And they're going to go have a nice emotional moment and do some talking here. You know,
let's go.
And she does a field dressing for him, right? Because he got shot or stabbed or he's been injured.
Yeah.
And she's gonna. Does that happen here or does that happen in the cabin?
No, she doesn't here. She goes and she's like, "Oh my God, you're bleeding." And he's like, "Well, you know, shit." Like he's from the future. He's like, "Yeah, I bleed all the time."
Yeah, look at my body. Look, I'm all scarred up.
This is something that I think I know it may sound, like an odd, suggestion for a young lady to watch, but I think more women should watch this flick because in this movie, they show Kyle Reese, and they talk about it later, what the women are like where he's from. He is living in a world where femininity is not a thing. And he's got this photo of her that he's seen where to him, it's like looking into the past when femininity was a thing. Sound familiar to anybody here? And you see this, and she is nurturing and taking care of him. And he's like, it's fine. It's whatever, right? It's and she's actually taking care of him, and she's like going on, I can't believe these things you say about me. And it's just like, it must have just been, it shows the power of femininity, frankly, in this movie, to motivate men to do things that are impossible. And that's what he did. And this guy came through time to save this person. It's insane. Love that scene.
If there weren't any broads, what would we do, guys, if we didn't have something to like women and children and all that?
Man.
Just
I don't even want to think about it with a bunch of dudes. Ew.
Yeah,
right. And think about like all the stuff at your house, like the things you fixed, garbage disposal, dishwasher, all the things you fix. But it's like you fix it because you live there, but you really care about like, well, I don't want the heater to be broken because my wife and kids live here, so I'm going to work on that. Small stuff like that, and then you extrapolate it all the way out to sacrificing yourself. It really is a beautiful thing, the relationship.
That's why men are superior, though, right? That's why men are superior. In this way, this very important way, why men are superior. We can walk into a room full of guys, and we can go, what the fuck is up with this? This is a sausage party. Women cannot walk into a room full of women and say, where are the guys? Even if they want to. Even if they think it. Because there's this attitude that it's like, why do you need a man here? We, on the other hand, can say that. That is one edge and advantage that I have seen. That we can, like, we're almost like it's an affront to us, right? Like, we go into a party or get together, like, I'm here to find ladies. If I don't already have one, that's why I'm here. I'm either with her, right? Or I'm looking for her. And it's a fascinating thing to not have that, man. To not have that benefit.
I did not mean to lean on. I leaned on it, sorry. But yeah, they get to talking. He tells her about the future that he comes from that is so ugly, and how there are other Terminators, and they sneak into the little hovels that the human resistance fighters live in. They just live in these little shanty towns that they build out of basically garbage. And I like how they have these dogs, these German shepherds or whatever. They're trained, I suppose. The way I inferred it was they're smelling everyone that comes in, and if you don't smell like you're alive, well, then they start barking. And he's hanging out. And you see these kids are like, oh, they have freaking TV? Like, what's on TV in 2029? Oh, never mind.
A box of fire. Anyway, turn off that firebox and go to bed.
You two have been watching that fire all day. Now turn that off.
But
Mom, it's almost over.
well, just a couple more flames.
Uh,
And this there's like these teenage boys with sticks, like going under stuff, trying to scare up rats to eat, and they catch a
Right.
rat, and they're all happy because they get to go get some protein. I mean, yeah, very dystopian future down there. The robots, and the robots have no interest in farming or replenishing. They're just machines. They don't need shit. So yeah, it's a very bad place up top, and not very good place down below. But yeah, that's where Kyle's from. And this picture is everything to him. This is his ray of sunshine. This is his reprieve. This is his escape. This photo is everything to him. It's hope. It's all kinds of shit. And the Terminator show how little they care about that photograph.
right. Throw another log on the TV. It's almost out. Time travel movies can be a mind fuck, and this is a game of one-upmanship. Kyle, the savior, so Skynet targets his mom, but when they learn about it, they send back Kyle ensuing himself. Yeah, it is cool how they mess with that, how the robots basically send the Terminator back to kill the guy before he can be born and blah, blah, blah. It's pretty crazy. But then our guard dogs, I guess they're not German Shepherds. I can't tell. It doesn't matter.
Like Malinois or some shit.
Yeah.
Who knows?
But they start barking, and it's a Terminator. He's stuck
Dude.
in with the crowd of people, and he just starts laying waste, killing everyone. And that photo of Sarah Connor goes up in flames right there in front of him.
Yeah.
I don't know if we have a shot of it, but it's
Yeah, we do. And you got to
Okay.
zoom in on the Terminator's eyes, man. Because
Yeah, when the
that-
red eyes, that shit's scary.
Dude, that is a shot
Yeah.
right there, man. It's
Yeah.
like he's got
The
that
light behind him.
Oh,
Yeah, that shit was scary.
freaking terrifying.
Almost
Yeah.
made him look like a zombie or something.
Yeah, that's
Like
some scary stuff.
Yeah, like a laser minigun. I'd love to have a laser minigun. That sounds
Yeah,
awesome.
dude.
But yeah, he's just spraying everybody. Everybody's running. He don't give a shit. Shooting him in the back, shooting him everywhere. He's just spraying as many humans
Right.
as he can. And then another great action movie trope. Let's have a homemade bomb making montage. As a kid, I was like, "Oh man, I hope we have all these supplies under the sink because I want to, mix up some explosives." Love it.
Really quick for Lummox for 5. Thank you, Lummox. Funny, the infiltrators in a world of strife look like they go through a side of beef in a week. Yeah, they're all very pumped up.
Yeah, they're huge.
Oh, and he also points out that that's Franco Colombo, who is Arnold's he since passed away, but Arnold's training buddy. One of his big buddies
Short
for
guy
weightlifting.
too.
Yeah,
Pretty
little
short.
guy. Yeah, thank you for that. I love all that kind of information.
Hey guys, I'm gonna get some more agua.
Okay,
All right.
okay.
Right
So
back.
where we are now is I believe they headed to the cabin, right, Shanth? The cabin, like a mountain cabin that Sarah Connor's auntie or mom or someone had this cabin. It's a good place
Actually-
for them to hide, right?
They go to a motel, and there's a couple of shots missing. I had the picture of her. I don't know where the hell they went, but I had the picture of her, and I had the them pulling up to the hotel, and there's a dog at the hotel, and he goes off to get some supplies, and
Right.
and the Terminator. Well, I think you're going to see it in a second, but the Terminator's looking for them, and he's completely lost contact. But while if I'm not, let me just double check and see what shots we have here. Let me just double check. While he is out grabbing stuff, if I'm not mistaken, she takes a shower, and then while he's out grabbing stuff, she calls her mom's cabin and talks to her mom on the phone, and it pans up. I can't believe I don't have that shot there, but it pans up and shows she's talking to Arnold, and the cabin is demolished.
Right, that's what. they
So
never went
he
to the
figures
cabin.
out where she's at,
Right.
you know.
Right.
And,
she tells her mom where she was. They didn't go to the cabin. That's right. The mom
Yeah.
was at the cabin. I got that
rough.
Right. And he's doing that voice thing again, where he's impersonating her mother's voice after he's killed her
Terrifying.
and all that. So we get a lot of talk here, and there's I can't quote it, but Kyle Reese ends up telling her that I think it's this shot right here that he's loved her for years, even though he lived far in the future, 40 years or whatever. He says, I basically I've loved you across time, which I think is so romantic.
Dude,
I
it
think
is. It's a
really
very
amazing.
romantic
That's
movie.
one thing I take joy in being a man, is that we are romantic. Women are not romantic like men. They love us,
Yeah.
sure, in their way. But men, we're the ones with the flower and the poetry, and we idealize women, and we don't try to change women. We change them in our mind that they're perfect. Women are like, Shant is good, but I can fix him. Women always look at us that way, which is kind of funny. And
I tell the ladies, I say, if you put up that fence, I'm going to jump that fence. No,
That's
but
right.
Here's the thing. No, what he says is, I came back for you. I came back across time for you. And she's
Right.
like, kind of like taking that all in. And then he's like, sorry, I shouldn't have said that. And he starts loading his bag up with the explosives. And one of the things that a shot that is really important in this is a shot a couple before where he is teaching her how to make these things.
Right.
And so he is essentially training her in the beginning of the skills that she's going to need to survive this. So there's so much of a loop that she learns how to fight these things and what these things are about and how to improvise as a result.
Right.
And it's crazy to me because, when he says that to her, it's almost like he's like, no, like I can't, like I've got to stay on task. I'm here to save you. No emotional entanglements. Like, this thing is still out there. And she's the one who's basically like going, no, Kyle, like I've been looking for someone like you. That's it. Like you're the dude. Like you've won me over. You've been risking your life. She finds out that he can't go back. So he's essentially given up his life, whatever life he had. Like he's sacrificed so much for it. And this is a woman who like bit into his hand and then is cleaning up his wounds about 45 minutes later in a movie.
Yeah.
And she finally realizes that this is the love of her life, and it's a great way to say it, man.
It's crazy. And look at his eyes there, the sorrow. Look at the expression, the slight snarl of the lips of grief, of pain. This is wonderful acting by him. And I don't have the quote, but he basically tells her, I came across time because I love you. It's like, it's amazing, I think it's really great.
Yeah, let's get to the good pick, huh? Let's get to the good one.
You're right, not just to save her, but to train her, to prepare her for what's ahead. Hey, I'll tell you, something else is ahead first, though.
Hey, only the dip.
Oh, look, there's some pipe they laid down.
Hey, you're gonna lay some pipe.
He pulled those out of the bag. He's all, this ain't the only pipe I'm laying tonight.
He's gonna lay a little pipe over here so I can go and lay a little pipe over there. That's great.
Those are some big explosives. Size isn't everything, Sarah.
Yeah. So
size queen.
And that's a man nipple. Everyone stay calm.
No, I kept it. I believe me, there was work done. This was the one frame, guys. And let me tell you this.
Nothing is ahead for Slider. Just saying.
Damn, slid for the last time.
Slid into the casket. It's rough.
Out of here.
No. He slid into the casket.
Slid up in that pine box.
Too soon.
No, it's not too soon, man. Go ahead. Sliders.
I apologize on behalf of the hotel.
Sliders.
I told my wife that the Terminator is a movie about two guys from the future that both come back to bang this broad. One with the gun and one with his gun.
Who's gonna get it first, huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
Looks like Kyle got her first.
Yeah, he says, "Oh yeah, time traveling nookie." Yeah.
I traveled back in the past for that day.
Yeah.
For that claim. I go back in time for that claim.
Clams Casino in. No, it's got.
Hey, Sherry Connor, nice claim.
All right, so
you're not from California. I won't believe it.
After their shameful act, they're getting dressed.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they hear the dog barking, and shit.
Oh, guess who?
Dog's right again.
Little friend.
Yep.
Yeah.
He starts spraying. Another guy, he walks by, and the guy's just like, whoa, whoa. And, because he's not here for him. I'm not here for you. I'm here for Sarah Connor.
Right. Oh, so they get away. He chases him on the bike, and here we get another great chase scene in the cars. Mm-hmm. He's throwing pipe bombs out of the car at the motorcycle, and he just can't seem to get Arnie. Now, Arnie, I heard that when you guys filmed this, that you got irritated with him getting too close to you with the bombs, and you guys kind of had a little thing. Is there any truth to that? Like you had a little argument or something, or he thought he was better than you, so he could throw these at you. Did that really go down the way I heard it, or no?
That's exactly right there. He was throwing them. I was like, be careful. There's a bomb in there.
Oh, geez. That's what they told me, man.
You can't take the bombs in there and throw them over here.
Oh, Yeah, you'd think he'd be more careful. I don't know. Sometimes these Hollywood guys, right? Jeez. But anyway, we get this awesome chase scene. Lots of shotguns, lots of pipe bombs. It's really cool. And a bad one, though, is he
Dude.
does get shot.
Wing him. Winged him.
He gets shot.
Oof.
Yeah, right above the hip or something, right? Like right in his side, he gets shot.
Yeah, and you could see, the Terminator adjusting to his situation because he was shooting at Kyle, was missing him, and then you almost see him like think, okay, shoot, if I hit him right here, and he shoots him, and he goes right through the glass in the right spot, and it hits Kyle, and then pulls alongside of the truck, and she gives him, a little friction treatment against
Right.
the guardrail, but yeah, broad. He kept going on the freaking rail there.
What's the
He
saying?
flipped the
With
vehicle.
drivers, no survivors.
That's right. I knew Kyle should have been driving his freaking truck, eh?
Was it so important to tell the kids to stop playing the Game Boy? You killed us all.
Look what you did, you broad. So
Guys,
she flips the
don't
truck.
let your woman drive your truck, guys. Don't let your woman drive your
Dude,
truck.
whenever everybody knows what's rule number 1. Whenever you're being chased by a Terminator, don't let the broads drive.
Right. Yeah,
And,
she could throw the pipe bombs.
Yeah,
And I was about to say, if you have to choose between the pipe bomb throwing and the driving, though, let her drive because you don't want to go. So when do I throw?
Oh, whoops! I dropped it. Whoopsie! Boom! Yeah.
Now, Jericho, when you did some, I don't know if it was training or basic training, you've thrown a live grenade, right? You told me you did that, or
Yeah, but not during
I'm being
training.
serious.
It was on
I'm
the
not
ship.
doing a bit. I know I'm always doing bits. I'm not doing a bit right now.
Yeah, they're like a canister kind of grenade. Yeah, you pull the pin,
Okay.
throw that bitch off the back. Yeah.
Speaking of Sarah Connor throwing the pipe bombs, my buddy who was in the Army said at boot camp they would live grenade drill, pull the pin, throw it. One of the girls in the boot camp pulled the pin and dropped it right in front of everyone. And the CO, or I don't know what his rank would be, sergeant, picked it up and threw it quickly.
Yeah, the drill instructor.
Almost just fragged everybody, dude.
Idiot. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Can you get fired during boot camp, right? They can just say, you know what? This might not be.
If you're proven competent, but you're a liability. Get out of here.
Then she started crying, and Shant was there. And he's like, Erica, come here, Navy girl.
Come
here.
Nice uniform there. I can see you. Bitch.
They're just going to put her on jumping out of cake duty instead,
Yeah, that's all you do, girl. You just one cake up from another, one cake to
Just
another.
more her speed.
You
is
just come
jumping
out
of cake.
perfect.
My two
You get all the
favorite
medals you
things,
want.
and I'm not talking about the cake.
I promise you'll have a chest full of medals before you know it.
That's right. Oh, dear.
Right. So she makes him crash. Everybody crashes. He flies
Oh,
out.
dude.
He looks
Just
like
the look before the truck hits him.
Dude,
That's the
nailed him.
saddest look. He's like,
Nailed
there's
him.
a truck.
He gets hit by a semi truck. What I like about the semi truck, you can tell these are like meth head truckers because they hit the guy, and they don't act like this is the first time this has ever happened in their lives. These two truckers, it's like, what the hell was that? So they eventually stop the truck. They get out. They look. He beats up the one truck driver, and then he jumps in and scares the other one off. And then
No, I think he killed him. I think he killed the one truck driver.
Oh, he killed the first.
Yeah,
one.
he doesn't do beating up. No, he
Oh,
killed
that's
him. And then
that's right. He's the Terminator, not the beater-up-inator.
Yeah.
Wrong movie. That was another movie I saw.
Yeah.
Yeah, he kills the dude.
It was the Hurtinator. I watched it last week. He just hurts people.
I don't kill people. I hurt.
I was sent back in time.
I'll hurt you.
Sent back in time to hurt people's feelings.
You don't
That's
want
a really
anybody
ugly
killed.
tie.
You don't want them killed. You just want them hurt. Send me. I'll just hurt you. Yeah. So
Really
he
white
killed
after
that
Labor
dude.
Day. It's like,
Mr. Terminator, if you were sent back in time to hurt Sarah Connor's feelings, how would you do it? What would your attack be?
I mean, they look at you. You're part of the itty bitty titty committee.
That's
what
really
I
mean.
tell her.
The Hurtinator. Anyway.
Come on. There's no tits in there.
So he commandeers a truck, which is, of course, filled with a mixture of 50-50 gasoline and dynamite, probably.
Yeah.
Most likely.
Dynamite's in the front tank, and then
Right.
gasoline's in the back.
Right.
For sure, if I remember correctly. And he
Oh,
gets inside the vehicle, and there's another guy in the cab, and he goes, "Get out!" and the guy's
Right.
like, "Ugh," he jumps out of the truck, and then this is a pretty scary scene here too. The truck, chasing him down. This is pretty scary. I would say definitely.
And finally, the pipe bomb, the old banana in the tailpipe.
What?
Yeah.
So this banana has explosives in it.
Yeah, because he's gone crazy here. He's chasing him through, like, it seems like an industrial park or business office buildings or something. And they're, like, on the sidewalk in the grass, and he's driving up on the curb and hitting everything. And Kyle gets out of the way. Sarah Connor's about to be run over, and he shoves the old banana in the tailpipe, making Axel Foley quite proud. And
Well, remember, Axel's on the other side of town.
right.
Yep.
Right.
So
right.
it's nice that he would do that to his buddy.
Yeah.
For his buddy.
I thought they were not supposed to ship dynamite with gasoline and blasting caps all in one truck.
Well, it's holidays.
Yeah.
You had to double
More
up.
of a guideline.
Yeah, it's just more of a suggestion.
Yeah.
Not a hard rule.
Right.
No.
They recommend. It's definitely recommended that you don't at least carry 2 out of the 3, not all 3 together.
Yeah, it's like tearing those labels off of cushions. I mean,
Same
shit
thing.
happens.
You ever tear a label off a cushion, it explodes just like that truck when you do that.
Exactly.
So the truck explodes. I do like the horror movie trope again of what I call the fake out ending. You think you've killed Freddy, you think you've killed Jason, you think you've blown the Terminator up. Movie could be over. They blew this horrible robot guy from the future up.
I mean, look, he's burning. She saw his skull, like, his face like fall to the side, engulfed in flames.
Yeah.
I mean, I would think this has got to be it. Who can survive those temperatures? Who can survive the kind of explosion? He's got to be dead. Right?
There's a great shot. We don't have it, unfortunately. It's a little right after this, where you see the face and you can tell it still has meat and skin, and then you see it start to simplify to just like teeth and jawbone and all that. Through the flames, you can kind of see that. And they're embracing. Oh my gosh, that was terrible. But hey, I live in 1984 now, so it's kind of awesome. I can tell you who wins the Super Bowl. We can put some money on it, baby. We're going to be
rich, girl.
Can you imagine if I was coming back to the time and I thought I was going to defeat the Terminator and survive, I would write down on my hand who won like 30 Super Bowls in a row and just bet on them. So for sure. But anyway, no, he stands up triumphant in the ashes, in the flames.
Skinless.
Right.
Just robot now.
Now, I heard Mr. Terminator when they had this written in the script, you said you didn't do like nude scenes like this as a robot individual. This is your nudity. How did they convince you that this was going to work for your career? Because sometimes people do nudity and it doesn't work out for them. So was this tense to negotiate this, or were you all in?
Well, at first, it was like I didn't want to come out of my trailer. They were like, Arnie, come out, talk to us. I was like, no, go away from me. I don't want to talk to you. I'm not trying to get naked in front of the camera. And then they were like, come on, come out. And they had like some protein bars and some lean meats and weights. And I came out and I was like, okay, I'll get naked. The robot will be naked. We'll all be naked.
Let me say,
the only way I'm coming out if you all strip down naked right now and show me everything you have down there.
That's how they got you to do that opening
on the table.
That opening naked scene, and now this closing robotic nudity scene. So crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
I call it
guys,
the full nude circle. It worked.
Can you imagine if you're John Connor or Kyle Reese, what you're thinking right now? You blow this bastard up, watch him burn to death.
Kyle Reese was like, fuck.
He's got.
I don't got nothing else.
It's like from John Carpenter saying, "You got to be fucking kidding me."
I don't got nothing else. I've blown you up. I've shot you. I've burned you. What else? What else you guys got here in this stupid 1984?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing about it too that makes this movie great, and what people have lost the ability to do with lower budget movies. You've only got, in terms of screen time, a handful of minutes where you get to see, the endoskeleton go and chase him down, right? But once you see it, you sort of retroactively see that thing inside of Arnold the entire movie. Do you know what I mean? Like, it really sells you on it. And it's, again, one of the most iconic designs in science fiction, fantasy, horror, anything, is that Terminator, design. You can't improve it. They try to upgrade it, make it scarier. No, it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect.
One of the
and-
iconic designs. That summer of 91 or 92, whenever T2 came out, was just the first blockbuster I remember being a blockbuster. There were some before, but it's the first one in my reality as a child. Wow, this movie's making all this money. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's going to see it. Yeah. At the hobby store, I bought and I still have it in the rafters of my garage here, like a 12 or 16-inch Terminator model, because I loved models growing up, model airplanes, model everything. And I have it. I built a full-size Terminator. It had metal parts and everything. It was a really nice, expensive one. But what a gorgeous design. And this is, of course, the great Stan Winston, probably the greatest practical effects guy in Hollywood history. I think so. So
he's up there, yeah.
I can't wait to do Terminator 2. I remember my brother going to watch that with his friend, and I was waiting because I wasn't old enough. I was waiting for them to come back and tell me what that movie was about. And they were just like, it was an experience. I mean, they were just like, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen. I wanted to see that movie so bad.
Right. And John reminds me that I forgot the poll. And if you like this, make sure you guys hit the like. Make sure you subscribe to Jericho's channel, Sean's channel. Check out my comic, Truth, Justice, American Way, and Sean has a great one, Nosfero. It's all in the description, guys. Hit the like, make sure you're subscribed and stay subscribed, because sometimes naughty YouTube likes to unsub people when you do live streams. I don't know why they do that. It's an
Fucker.
Yeah, fuckers. But let's see who won the poll. Best Terminator, T1, T2, T3, or Woke Terminator? Woke Terminator beat T3. How the hell did that happen? It beat it.
T3 was garbage. That shit was so awful.
Yeah, it was not
Claire Danes.
I remember seeing the Terminator holding a coffin on his shoulder and having a minigun in the other hand.
Yeah.
And if I had a tail, it would have been wagging. I was so excited to see T3.
Mm-hmm.
And then it sucked.
I think he bankrolled that one. That's why it was so low budget. I think Arnie paid for that one himself.
Terrible. Yeah. Terrible. Arnie, how much money did you lose on T3, and then what did you have to do to recover from that?
Well, I lost a lot of money. I lost like $50-60 million, but I wasn't really worried. I wasn't worried about that because I knew I just got my Mexican housekeeper pregnant, and I knew that son with my blood in him and then her blood inside of him. I think was going to work so hard that I'd make that money back, no problem.
Oh, okay. Well, the Mexicans are hardworking people. We have heard that.
So, without looking it up, to YouTube guys, not to the chat because they can look it up quick, what would you guess? This was a $6 million movie we're watching right now. What would you guess the budget was for Terminator 3?
Terminator 3, 125.
I say 100.
$187 million.
That was $187 million.
100. That probably doesn't include advertising. 187. So that means you could take the 7 off of that, leave the 180, and make this movie. Okay?
I don't see it. I didn't see the 100.
How could you see the ads for Terminator 3 and see this image and not think it was going to be the greatest Terminator of all time?
Yeah,
that looks so amazing to me. And that movie was so terrible. So terrible.
I didn't see $187 million on the screen. I did not.
No.
Did not.
Inflation
that chase scene with that crane truck thing and the female Terminator, terrible. That was all right. But terrible. I didn't see $187 million on the screen. That shit was garbage. No. All right, let's see. Oops, I'm skipping ahead by accident. Didn't mean to do it. So the Terminator rises from the flames. Yes, smoking. I like the smoke coming off of it. Right. This is a great shot here, by the way. Again, that classic contrast in colors. You got your green light, and then you got your orange. So you're having it's basically opposites, red and green, whatever. And great combo right there. And you'll see on the Terminator's right side, the top of his head, and then that piston on his trapezius, you got that green, bright, white light on his own body. So I think as some of the draws and colors, I think it's fantastic, the lighting work there. And guys, when you watch movies, all of this is intentional. They don't just film stuff and like, oh, whatever light is on this building. Oh, no. Many of you know this, but this is detailed and thought out completely the way they're going to do this stuff.
Sorry, guys. With
what happened?
Someone just asked me with inflation what it would be. $6 million into 2003 from 1984, according to this, would be what? Let me just make sure I got this correct. Would be $11 million.
Oh,
So the inflation is not the culprit here. That's rough, man. That is rough.
I don't know if he got investors or whoever, but whoever's $887 million that was, I'm sure when they walked out of that screening, that initial screening, they had some questions. For sure.
so here we get one of my favorite action movie tropes. It's in all the Van Damme, Seagal, Stallone, all the movies. We go into a fire factory. That's what I like to call them. I don't know what these factories make, but I'm pretty sure they just make fire or steam or smoke or electricity, electrical bolts. That's what these factories make. They don't make anything else. There's no product actually. And I love it. I love it so much. It's always there's just something so violent and so primal and masculine about factories. I can't put my finger on it exactly, but they just make sense for action movies. Yeah. You know, I like this guy just coming into this factory. He's from the future. They don't have the same like technology. He just flips every switch he sees.
Yeah,
like
because he knows. So they can't track us.
Right.
I know exactly what I'm turning on. I know what I'm turning on is going to interfere with his tracking system, even though I just got here 3 days ago.
Fat Samurai, I don't think that's what they make in this factory.
No, they don't.
It'd be a very different movie.
That'd be a Spencer's.
I don't think it would be such a large factory unless they're just like supplying the world with butt plugs.
I've thought of. Listen, I'm not going to get blue here, but somebody works at a factory.
With that comment.
Somebody works at a factory where they make these things and they handle them and look at them 8 hours a day.
But they're not used. They're clean.
Hopefully,
you can handle them. Like, whoa, did you get the recycling bin? It's from the recycling bin.
Can you imagine getting fired from that job or something because you screw them up? You know,
you keep testing them out. This is not product development. Stop testing.
Your boss comes out. This is not quality.
It's not quality control. This is assembly.
It's not a Johnson plug. We put our name on that thing.
Stop doing that. We're gonna let you go.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Man.
You don't
I like
know.
this theory. They just make testosterone at these factories. That's right.
Apparently, they make robot arms.
Yes.
Just things going whir, 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 like spinning around and not really grabbing anything, just spinning.
No.
Spinning robot arms, factory robot arms.
So Sarah and Kyle, they're running through this factory trying to figure out something to get away from this relentless robotic monster.
That door wasn't going to hold.
Huh?
That door, the previous frame, that's the Terminator smashing that side door. And I'm like, jeez, you're just like going, guys, you're going to need a bigger boat. You know,
it's a force of nature.
And then the robot and the Terminator, it's limping, even though it's a robot. And it's because when he got hit by the truck, when he got ran over by the truck, he was limping. And then the skin got burned off and he's still limping. So it's starting to turn up the relentlessness of it. It's injured, but it's still, so what? That's not going to stop anything. I will keep going until, my power source is burned out, until I kill Sarah Connor, no matter what.
Right. And here we get a little bit of a, not climactic, but a big turn in Sarah, because she's been like the wide-eyed, nurturing, caring person. And Kyle can't go on because he's bleeding. He got shot, not in the liver. Well, he'd be dead if he got shot in the liver. But he got shot somewhere bad in the side. They're not clear about it, or at least I don't remember. Maybe they are clear about it. He got shot. He's bleeding. He's really getting tired. And she tells him, come on, soldier, you got to get up. And you see, oh, now something is clicked. She realizes after everything he's trained her and taught her, you're against a wall. There's no choice here. You've got to go because this guy, he ain't stopping.
Yeah.
Oh, and he comes through so awful. He's got them pinned. She gets him up with her motivation. They're going up the stairs. And he's terrible now because he has the broken ankle from the semi-truck, the Terminator. So he's real slow, like you're saying, Jericho. So he's plodding up the stairs, and that just ratchets up the tension now. Are they going to be able to get away in this horrible thing?
Yeah, my son was
go.
My son was like, get up the stairs. They're going to get you. They're going to get you. He's going to get you. It's all wrapped up in it. I was like, I don't know. I said, I don't know why they're taking so long, man. I would have been up those stairs so damn quick.
So your son was yelling at the TV.
Yeah, he was like, go up the stairs, go up the stairs.
Now, I got to ask you, Jericho. We're all men of color here.
Yes.
You are a black guy, though. Do you yell in movie theaters?
No, that's
okay. I
Hey man,
just
he's
heard,
behind the door.
I just
No,
heard
don't
that's
do
a
that.
cultural thing. I'm not judging
No.
it.
That's
Listen,
Yo, that white boy
ridiculous.
crazy. You need to get up them stairs. Like, you
first
know,
of all, let's be really clear, okay? Because I want to make sure that everybody in the audience understands this. The joke has gone on far enough. Jericho is an Italian from the Northeast.
all right.
I have long held to
Hey.
this suspicion because if you think about the accent, he does the most. I think it's him slipping in to his true self. Sliding, dare I say. I think if that camera pans over, you're going to see a drum of bouillabaisse, followed by another drum of bouillabaisse, followed by another drum of bouillabaisse.
It's just bouillabaisse all the
That
way
is
down
the
hall.
reality of this. No, but look, this is
Everywhere.
in this shot right here. The thing about it for me is, you know, when he's like, he's like, go, like it's like you have to. This is the thing that's interesting is there's this beautiful glimpse you get right at somebody, who thinks maybe I've got a life with this woman. You know, like for a minute he slips into this kind of thought that like maybe something could happen. And when she says, "Get up, soldier, we gotta go," and she's been kind of helping him along, he's like, wait, I'm here because if she goes, it's over. We've already won the war in the future. What happens here only matters to the extent she lives. Right. And so he's like, go. And it's almost like in that moment, whether she knows it or not, fully, he knows what's up. Like, he's not got a full tank of blood. He's, like, beyond outmatched. Mm-hmm. And there you go. It's amazing.
He's going to fight him with a stick. Come on.
Yeah, he's got a metal pipe. That's it.
Don't you like how in these action movies there's always a perfect, 3.5 foot piece of nice, lightweight, but very strong steel there that they can just grab and pick up? Just, pull it off the wall or something. What movie was that? What movie was that? Wasn't it Brandon Lee? Was it Showdown in Little Tokyo? Oh, yeah, when he fights the guy at the end and he pulls off that perfect metal bar just big enough for him to twirl around and beat the shit out of it.
Twirls around.
I love how he just runs by like, oh, here's a perfect piece of steel, perfect steel bar. And he does his best. But yeah, he's telling her, go, get out of here, get out of here. He's like, I don't even mean shit. I knew this was a suicide mission when I took it. You're the most important thing. Get your ass out of here. I'll handle this fucker.
Fucker.
Hey, fucker.
Hey, why are you running after her,
fucker?
Kick back, fucker.
Hey, that's my girl, homie. That's my girl, fool.
That's my hyena, fucker.
Yeah, so he's going to beat the Terminator to death. He's going to try. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't go well.
That's a beautiful backhand, by the way, by the Terminator. I just want to be real clear about that. That is beautiful. It's like every movie where the bigger guy is getting pounded on, and then like the bigger guy just goes bam, just like stands him.
Yeah, that was.
Look at him, felt that right there.
For a couple seconds, he was on top.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah, didn't work out, but he went out like a champ.
And then he takes that last stick of dynamite and lights it right there. He's lighting it, and then he puts it like in the hip joint or whatever, like inside somewhere of the Terminator's skeletal frame, and the Terminator like goes to grab it, and then kaboom, blows up. Terminator bits everywhere.
He tells her, hey, I'm gonna lay pipe one more time.
Hey, one more time, huh? Before I get out of here.
Yeah, and he blows him to bits.
Dude, literally.
Terminator blows up.
And she gets a piece of metal shrapnel in the leg.
About 4 inches long.
Yeah.
It was a big old piece of metal right to the side of her, right by her knee, like in the side of her knee.
Some painful shit right there.
Oh, man.
Right. So the Terminator's dead. He got blown up. No. He's
not quite.
Still alive. We get another great fake out death, but we get a real one here.
Kyle's gone.
So Kyle,
he died in the explosion.
Fat Samurai. Reese is an alpha. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he is, man.
Yeah, it's great here. Great love story in this movie. I didn't pick up on that when I was 10 years old watching a movie I wasn't supposed to be watching. So yeah,
same here. Yeah, it was great, but again, it's relentless. Even though it's only literally half of what it was. That's only the top half, and only has one hand. and it's basically
Ultimate
pulling
too
his body
soon.
along.
It crawls over Kyle.
Yeah, I was like, oh,
I'm like,
come on, man.
Come on, man. Dude, no. No.
That's powerful, though. That's, not even.
It is.
It doesn't even. Nothing's going to stop me. I have no emotion. Dead body, that means nothing to me. All I see is you up ahead of me, and I still have enough strength in my half a skeleton body to kill you, and that's what I'm going to do.
I didn't like this as a kid. When I saw this originally, I didn't like this at all. Him crawling through this giant metal.
Yeah.
I thought that was scary. He's like one-armed, no-legged, and he's still just coming. And I thought that was a little scary for a little 10-year-old me.
Yeah.
She shuts the gate. She tells him, what is she telling me? What's the iconic line? I don't remember.
Something, fuck you, or...
Yeah, you're terminated, fucker. That's what she says.
Something like that.
So apparently this factory makes robot arms and it crushes things.
Right.
Oh, man.
It's the button.
That's where she delivers it.
And the hydraulic press comes down, get the more cool lightning. And, I mean, it crushed it. Like, you see the eye socket of it getting crushed into pieces. And, I mean, it totally flattens the Terminator. And the little light, the optical little red light inside of its eye burns out. But this, his arm being spared, that comes back later, guys, in future.
Sure does.
It becomes very important.
CPU.
Very problematic.
Yeah. And we will be doing T2 very soon because it's still Arnold's Vemba. So finally, you get the classic thing that Jericho, you always mention. The end of the action movie, the cops always finally show up after the big battle. They are never there during the climactic battle for some reason.
No.
Yep. This next frame coming up is basically Kyle saying, hey, thanks for your timing. It was excellent.
What is it? Oh.
This shot, Kyle is essentially saying, hey, guys, thanks for showing up when you did. Could have used your help probably about 40 minutes ago. Could have made a better world.
After all the danger's gone, then the cops come in with their, green wool blankets and patching you up.
Right. You just see the red and the blue lights just going off everywhere.
Right. But look at this is a choice. This is beautiful, man. It's like he's at peace. He accomplished his mission. And he doesn't eat, like, you know what I mean? Like, he saved her. He gave his life. Like, even though he didn't get to see that happen, he gave his life for her. That was his whole mission. And that's what's freaking beautiful, man.
Right. And then we get a shot of her in a Jeep headed down Mexico way.
That's right. She's in Mexico.
Speaking Espanol, the local.
She's learning.
And she's, ella es embarazada. You know what embarazada means?
Pregnant.
Look at her belly. She's 4 months along.
Preggers.
Look what's next to her belly in her lap.
A big old cannon.
Right. Yep. That is the woman. She went from the woman who was being hunted by the Terminator because she's going to become the mother of the great freedom fighter to becoming the mother of the great freedom fighter. She is now that person she heard about as legend. Fucking amazing.
Yeah, and turning into the Sarah Connor that we pick up in T2.
Right. So, yeah, she gets a tank of gas here. 40.3 pesos per liter. Wow.
That made me sick.
Yeah.
That's the horror movie part.
That's the scariest part of this whole damn movie right here.
Right. No, I was down in, as I said earlier, for my 26th wedding anniversary, I went down to Mexico. Went to 3 cities down there, and the gas is so much cheaper there. You convert it from pesos to dollars in your head, and it's like, oh my God, they're paying like $1 something. Because right now a peso is, I think a peso is 19 or 20 for $1, and I think a gallon down there was like 23 pesos or something like that. So it was like $1 something at the stations I saw there. So we're getting jobbed up here, especially in California. Gasoline has gone down to the low price of like $5.50. So
it's like $4.99, $4.79 up here.
Awesome. Yeah.
Still way too damn high.
Right. And so she's recording some stuff for her son, and that he's going to hear once he's born. Oh, there's a neat scene when they were in that culvert underneath the bridge. Remember, they slept out in kind of the wilderness in that concrete little thing. And he asks her about his son, and he doesn't know yet that, he did the horizontal mambo with her. He didn't know that was going to happen. He doesn't know he's John Connor's dad. And he asks her, or she asks him, what is John Connor like? What's my son like? And he goes, "Oh, he's about my height."
Yes.
I always thought that was
All
great.
right. Thank you. Very descriptive.
Yeah.
Well, there was another beautiful part of it where he goes, he gave me this photo of you, made me memorize it. I carried it around, and I always wondered what you were thinking in that photo. Like what you were thinking. And this is the part where she's talking right before it's taken, where she goes, "Now about your father. Should I tell you, that Kyle's your father and you need to send him back? If he isn't sent back, you can never be. God, a person could go crazy thinking about that." And she says, "No, I'm going to tell you about your father. That's, I owe him that much." And then she takes the picture. He takes the picture. Right. She's thinking about Kyle in the photo that he saw, where he wondered what she was thinking about. It's fucking great.
Yeah,
Good
this
shit.
little boy here, Emilio. I don't know. I gave him a name.
Oh,
He takes her a picture with a very 80s thing, a Polaroid.
I was gonna say that's a hell of a nice camera, kid.
Yeah.
And says that if he doesn't sell the picture to her, that his dad's gonna beat him. She's like, "Nice scam, kid."
Yeah.
Give me $4.
I should get $5 out of her in 1984.
She gave him $4. She's like, $4. I'm like, man, we got $2, you little shit.
Yeah.
Quick comparison: blonde kid who puts ice cream in pocket versus kid who's making money and saying, "I'll get my ass kicked if I don't sign this photo." There's a difference there. I just want to point that out. Those two kids.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then the little boy says in Spanish, "A storm is coming." Yeah, he does tell her that.
She says, "I know."
Beautiful matte painting though too. Even though it's clearly a painting, it's coming up and it's like, and she stows away that Polaroid and it's like, God, this next shot is gorgeous, man. Yeah. And it's like, well, I had to put the frame by frame. She's putting on the shades now.
Yeah.
And the dog, the German Shepherd in the background, in the back seat, to keep an eye out.
She's got to be ready.
And she's already, living like they did in the future.
Great movie. Hadn't seen it since I was a kid. Didn't know it was this good. Didn't know. I always thought it was the boring Terminator because I saw it at 10 and I never saw it again. But fantastic movie, actually. So love it.
Yeah, that was good. Very good.
It's got a good romance story in it, which was surprising. But very
action.
Well, Yeah, that hit me hard. That thing where he's telling her in the hotel that I came across time because I love you. Like, damn. Because again, I'll say again, I've been married 26 years, and I told you in 26 more years I'll be 70, and you think how short life is. I mean, I'm only 44. I'm relatively youngish, but I'm a grandfather now as of 2 days ago, and you think, okay, like you're not a kid. Like, how long do we have? And I think about it all the time because of certain things in my life and certain loved ones that I've lost, and everyone has lost multiple people, about how precious every day is. It's something I think about a lot, and I think this movie touches on that. I really do. Really to make every day important. Don't waste them. Don't waste it at all. I don't know. And it could be confirmation bias. Maybe I'm seeing that because I think about it a lot. But I think it's a great movie. I was surprised at how touching the human story between Kyle and Sarah was. I thought it was fantastic and romantic.
Yeah, and the Terminator was still scary.
Yeah.
After all these years. It was great. That shootout or that murder scene, I guess you could say, in the police department, beginning to end, that shit was awesome. And just, again, the scene with the running over the kid's truck, shooting the guy in the store. I mean, shooting the first Sarah Connor 6 times. Just an absolute force of destruction. And all the way down to where it was blown in half was still clawing at Sarah Connor.
Right. So we got Arnold Vember. It's how we're ending this year. I think we'll do another Arnold Vember later next year. We're going to take for a break from Arnold after the new year, but we're going to finish up, I said earlier, with like T2, Jingle All the Way for sure. And I think True Lies, I don't know. We'll decide as the three of us will decide. But do we want to do T2 next week, guys, or do we want to do something else and finish with T2 at the end of the year? Or what do we? The only one that's in stone is Jingle All the Way has to be right before Christmas. What do we want?
I think so. We keep with the feng shui. We should do T2 next.
Yeah. I'm feeling that too. I think that's a good idea. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, people, I always see people in the chat, they shout out their favorite Arnold movies. We'll come back to him, but I don't want to do like 20 of his in a row because I think we'd all get a little
Yeah,
tired
we got
of
to
it.
save something for
Right.
later too.
So yeah,
Mix it up.
Arnold Vember will return, but it's over at the end of this year, at least for now. But yeah, he's got a great catalog of movies. But we'll do other ones. We'll do a bunch of Stallone, and we'll do a bunch of other guys. And Chuck Norris is something I am not versed in.
Yeah, gotta get Norris
I
in
haven't
there.
seen almost any of his movies. Lone Wolf McQuade and all those.
Missy in
but
Action,
There's one, yeah, the
Hero
Missy
of
in
the
Action.
Terror, Octagon, yeah, Breaker 19.
One that I've heard is like stone cold levels of crazy is called Invasion USA.
Oh yeah, that's a
And
good
I
one too.
found it on Amazon for $10. So I'm gonna buy the DVD, and we'll eventually get to that because I've heard that's over the top, like comic book level violence and craziness.
Yeah, he has two. He has double Uzis in shoulder holsters. Yeah,
I am in. You said double Uzis?
In shoulder holsters.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I saw someone review it on YouTube, and it looked completely insane. So it's right up there for me. So, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We always have so much fun on Double Impact. Terminator, what a great movie. Any thoughts, Sean, Jericho, anything before we close it out?
I would say this. I love Terminator 2, of course, like you guys. I watched it 1,000 times on VHS and then on, Blu-ray or DVD or whatever. But I will say, when you watch this movie, you understand that it's kind of almost like T2 was like a stealth remake of this movie with a few new ideas thrown in, down to the set pieces. And it is a brilliant film. But I would say, sincerely, when people say, what movie, where should the franchise have stopped? And I always think, in a realistic world with this time travel scenario, Terminator 1 you could stop at. It is a truly perfect film. And I think that goes for the first Star Wars movie. You can make sequels of it. And I think Terminator 2 is a great sequel. I think Predator 2 is a great sequel. I'm glad we have these movies.
Yeah.
But those first movies, for all of their things that they didn't do with the high-tech level of it, they were just absolutely on point. And I know I joke about this because obviously my work is about sexiness and all that kind of stuff, but you think about, a sexy, beautiful, nude scene in an R movie that actually is a part of the plot, actually drives the story, and you get action scenes. There's so much more of that stuff, whereas Terminator 2 is very much the action elements of this, and it's R-rated for the violence, but if you're honest, it's got a little bit of a PG-13 quality to it. I don't think that I was nearly as disturbed by the sort of incidental victims of the Terminator in Terminator 2 as I was in this film. There were so many characters I cared about in the police station, with her roommate, that you just think, oh God, every Sarah Connor. Yeah. Think about that. There wasn't like a list of John Connors that they went through. If you think about this, I'm saying there must have been. This Connor.
First one, you're so right. This first one is much grittier.
It's rough, man. Yeah. Think about if they went through all of the people named John Connor in Los Angeles. Like, they didn't do that. But
I got an idea.
There's this.
Just hold on. Terminator.
They didn't know what he looked like. So I'm just saying, T2 is great. Listen, we talked about this. I sat at home with my VCR with a blank tape in it, waiting to record the Guns N' Roses video and the T2 commercial that showed the robot getting built. My dream was like special effects and stuff. I thought, oh, maybe I'll do that one day, but I was drawing this stuff like crazy. Love this movie. Can't wait to review it. But guys, T1 is the movie that if people haven't seen it, be an evangelist for this movie. Tell people to see it. It'll make you feel good about humanity in a really powerful way.
Movie. Great movie.
Yeah.
Can you imagine him killing all the John Connors, but this movie takes place in Boston with all those Irish people named Connor.
I'm screwed. Are you kidding? You come back in time. We got to find Shanthan Jetty. There he is. Like, it's over. That boy's dead.
No, they'd have to rip out like half the phone book for all the John Connors. It would take.
No, exactly.
Yeah,
we know he's somewhere out west. It's like, shit.
Yeah, you are the only Shanthan Jetty. I am the only Gabe El Taib, because El Taib is a French translation, as my dad was going through customs to come here. They changed it to El Taib in France. It was Atib in Arabic. You know what I mean? So
anybody want to see that?
Yeah.
That movie, though, with us, right? Are you Shanthan Jetty? No, my name is Sarah Connor. Like, it's just, fuck.
And I want to fantasize about Axel Foley, RoboCop, and the Terminator. And
Man,
Kyle
that
Reese.
sounds like a hit worldwide. That sounds like Maverick numbers.
Maybe Disney
movie.
Plus can get the rights to it and woke the shit out of it.
You know they will.
All right, guys. 7 p.m. next week. It is Terminator 2. It's gonna be awesome.
Can't
It's
wait.
gonna be awesome. Okay. Thank you all for joining us, and we will see you next week.